If you've ever made a phone call and hoped that the other end wouldn't pick up, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button, folks. Welcome back to another day of trading. We have the market ripping here right before the open. We are going to make sense of it. Got 13 in the back. Hope you all are doing well. Let's make some money.
Welcome to Benzinga Live Trading.
Let's see if this actually kind of comes back.
Way out of control, got way too high.
All right. Hey, I will take that. I will absolutely take that.
All right. Good morning and happy Thursday, folks. Great to see a whole bunch of returning faces. EKS, Jonathan, Market Sniper, John Gotti. Oh, look out. Jane Smith, Smoke Tuna. Let's go get to it here today. Got my main man 13 in the back. Let's bring him on. 13, how are you today, dude?
I'm having a pretty good morning. Can't complain. Just going to roll up my sleeves, get ready for some trading. How about everybody else?
That looks like we're all on the same boat. So let's go ahead and do that. I know we started a little bit late here. Pre-market prep did an amazing job here this morning. So hopefully you folks tuned in for that. Be sure to smash that like. Help us out here. Of course, the stream is sponsored by Trade the Pool, the best prop firm out there. Huge pool of stocks to trade from. Easy way to get above that 25K threshold or get that $250,000 in buying power that you need to advance to the next stage in your financial future. Okay, let's go ahead and get down to brass tacks here. There's a lot of stuff going on. Well, maybe not a lot of stuff going on, but there's some stuff going on that we should be ready for here. First thing we're going to do, as always, is we're going to start with the SPY. And it sure looks like we have a breakout incoming. We've really kind of tested this 20-day moving average. We've now curled back up off of it. Right now, the SPY is ripping to the upside here. The number that I have is 524.61. The current number here, 523.40. So it looks like we're going to be testing that upside here. Now, we've tested this area, not the exact number, but this area. This will be the third time that we tested. So I think at this time we might actually end up rolling through that level. Now, 13, I know you've got some thoughts on this level. And, is this up? Do I have the wrong? Look at that. Here we go. That's the screen that I needed to share. Okay, 13. You have any thoughts on what's going on here? I know we kind of talked about it a little bit already.
Yeah, lately, when we do these new all-time high breakouts that we've been talking about and been mentioning this pattern that's been going on with that, lately these new all-time highs have started to take longer to produce. The last time that we did it, it took about 7 trading days. We're coming up on the, I believe, the 8th or 9th trading day for this one that we're seemingly about to get. Prior to that, we were getting them every about 5 days or less. So the upside breakouts are happening less and less, and that leads me to believe that we could start to see some rolling over here, especially if we don't break out into new all-time highs this morning. I know that we have a lot of momentum going into the open this morning, but we'll have to see if it's going to hold up there or not, because I do want to see some closes above the previous all-time high if we do break out. We break out and come back in. That's going to make me think that we're still looking like it's going to roll over soon.
Yeah, really good point there. Daniel here mentioning DDD never short a stock making new all-time highs. Indeed. And what I would apply that to SPY here as well. Wait for it to confirm some more downside. Wait for it to confirm a reversal. Don't try to be a hero and jump in front. That's how you get ripped up.
Happy birthday, Neville.
Yeah, good morning and happy birthday, Neville. Excuse me. Spending my birthday morning with all of the Benzinga family. Well, guess what? You're going to get a 1-up for that. I don't have a happy birthday sound queued up here on the board. And trust me, none of you want to hear me sing. Yeah. So we're just going to skip that. But very happy birthday to you. Let's make it a green birthday for you. Love the chat. Mentioning all of that. Okay.
Looks like we want to take a look at Palantir.
Yeah, I think that we should start with that. I was thinking, should we go over some setups here real quick? We are kind of running out of time. I'm just going to do it real quick because these are some of the ones that we've recently talked about. ACN still riding that 200. Let's see what today brings for that. I'd like to see maybe 2 or even 3 more days on a close above that. And I kind of want to wait to see if it actually breaks down. VKTX looking like this might try to take out one of these recent highs and go back towards 100. And we've kind of talked about those as well. So still keeping an eye on those. we'll see where we end up going. I also am keeping my eye on Lululemon. I think that this is going to bounce at some point. I just don't know when. We'll see. But those are three things that I'm kind of watching. No position on any of those. And then one more I wanted to mention here. We had a mention from one of the chat members. Amazon, new all-time highs here in the pre-market. Doesn't look like that's the case. Looks like all-time highs would be 188. Now, we are very, very close. We're at 184.24. So watch for Amazon here to make a challenge at those all-time highs that we're very, very close to. Not quite there yet. The other thing that was mentioned here, Bitcoin is running. I know you guys were saying that it's ripping. We've seen Bitcoin really kind of move vertical. It's not really doing that, but decent volume and an upswing here today. So we'll keep a look, or we'll keep an eye on some of those Bitcoin related names as well. Let's move over to the movers tool and discuss some of the specific ones. And as 13 just alluded to, we are going to start with Palantir. Recent news here has Palantir running into the open, current price $24. Catalyst here is Palantir shares are trading higher after the company and Oracle announced a partnership for secure cloud and AI solutions. Boy, that sounds like a great PR there. Not surprised at all to see Palantir's move here. If we take a look at the daily chart here and we look at 24, we're kind of right in this consolidation area. Actually, doesn't this kind of look like a head and shoulders here for you? Looks like this might be invalidating that head and shoulders pattern here on the daily. What do you think on Palantir here, 13?
Sorry, let me bring that up real quick. I was looking at one of these other movers this morning that's getting has a nice setup. So to your point about the head and shoulders, we've been looking at that, thinking that okay, this is looking like it's headed towards $18 to $20. Then they put out this news with the partnership with Oracle. This is going to be the kind of thing that the CEO does do, where they just kill the shorts. So this is probably going to end up invalidating the head and shoulders pattern. Should we start to break above one of the shoulder levels here, which I have at about 25.50. Next step we need to see if this is going to continue to go up is a break of that 20-day SMA, which I currently have at about 24.28.
Okay, and the first step here is going to be, what do we do at 24? This thing moving on some pretty decent volume here this morning. So Palantir definitely on watch here today. And you're right about this. We've talked about this before. This guy is the CEO here is no stranger. He openly talks about how he wants to, wreck shorts and this and that. And you see this kind of action. Now, the short interest here is just to put some actual data to that. As of March 26th, so about a week old here, only 4.26% of the float shorted and only 1.02 days to cover. So not necessarily, doesn't necessarily have the stats for a squeezer, but we'll see if we get that type of action anyway. Okay, go ahead. Of course.
Can I just put one of the movers on the people's screen real quick, because it looks like it has a pre-market setup. So TCBP, this is like the second one that I was interested in to talk about. This one looks like it has a setup that's a bull flag setup that's trying to break above 212 right now and get back up to VWAP. So this is interesting in the pre-market action that we're seeing here. If you trade pre-market, maybe this is something for you. But I just like the setup, so I wanted to point that out. If we want to talk specifics on this one, I have that. If you want me to go ahead and just go for it.
Yeah.
Okay. So the reason why this stock is moving is they sent a letter of intent to acquire NK Platform Technologies. So it's running on basically a letter. They have a 2.4 million share float. They did a reverse split, 1 for 20 on December 15th. And other than that, I don't have anything else on this company. They just sent out a letter of intent that they intend to acquire this technology platform.
To your point about the letter of intent here, I want to read you these two sentences from the actual press release itself here. Under the terms of the letter of intent, TC Biopharma has been granted exclusivity while the parties work in good faith on drafting a definitive agreement. There can be no assurance that a definitive agreement will be executed or that the proposed transaction will be consummated on the terms or time frame currently contemplated. So to your point here, 13, this is good news, but it is just a letter. In fact, this is not the end of the road, as they say. So really good stuff here on TCBP.
Yeah, they need to actually have something happen with that in order for it to go from pumper piece to producing.
Pumper piece to producing, lots of alliteration in there. You know, I like that early on a Thursday. The one thing that I'm going to be looking for here on TCBP is, does it use, we've seen some of these where they have a catalyst, but the stock is actually kind of weak in its trading. We've seen these literally use the VWAP as a resistance. We're kind of seeing that here in the pre-market. I want more data to confirm that. And no position in TCBP. I don't think I'm going to trade this here today, but we'll see if it gives us a setup. Good stuff here, though. TCBP. Okay. TVGN, another one on the list here. This popped as high as 576. It kind of came back in a little bit here, but it's remained strong, and the volume has actually been really good. And actually, the biggest volume stick was recently here, so that's great to see here. This is Tevogen Bio Holdings, and I didn't see any news here on this one. Does anyone else have anything that I might have missed?
It's like old news from the day before, I believe, or earlier.
So it's just kind of like a continuation move here?
Yeah, the old news that I'm referring to is when they announced that they appointed a new head of their investor relations and some other department. That's really the only material news I could find as of late. So that's what I'm thinking it's continuing on. Other than that, I don't know what it's is moving it this morning. It does have 14 million shares in the float. No reverse splits, no high short interest. So couldn't really tell you exactly what's driving this aside from that old news.
The even on this 1 minute chart here, this flag actually looks pretty good. Like I said, if this were breaking down, I'd be a little bit more weary, but so far holding up. So we'll see here. Let's keep moving down the list. We've got HWH International. This thing, I don't even know what's going on here. This thing popped over 5, has bled all the way back down to 235. Yikes! Almost retraced this entire move. Again, I don't see anything here. I'd be wary of this one. This certainly trading vehicle only. If you guys have anything else on this, please share it with us. But
it doesn't smell right. No news.
Yeah, it doesn't smell right. Exactly.
Just under 2.4 million shares in the float. The one thing I'll say for setup, if you are interested in all in trading this, is that it's kind of getting support from the 200 EMA right now in the 5 minute. If that, if it breaks down with that, then I'm probably just going to say, hey, if it can't get support from the price action consolidation yesterday, then this is something I'm probably just not going to even have on my screen. I don't know about this one. It doesn't have really anything for me to go on other than technicals.
Yeah, there you go. And we'll take a look at those. Lynn and Randy, hi, y'all. Very early morning here in the Pacific Northwest. Two things here. First of all, this is awesome. That means you made it safely, which is great. No door plugs blowing out on Randy's plane. That's for sure. The other thing here is that you're getting up early. The early bird gets the worm. Lynn and Randy, love to see you. Good morning. Glad you made it to your destination safe. Okay, let's keep going here. Oh, I did want to, we'll talk about that here in a sec. I want to run through a couple more of these movers here. ZCMD, this is popping here. This is definitely just kind of a Chinese name. I would be very, very nervous about this. No news on this one. I'm mentioning it because it's on the movers here. It's on the list. It's literally the fourth one down, but I'm definitely going to not trade this one. CADL, another one that's on the list here. This is Candle Therapeutics. Candle Therapeutics shares are trading higher after the company announced interim data from the randomized phase 2 clinical trial of CAN 2409 in non-metastatic prostate cancer. So good PR here on prostate cancer regarding prostate cancer. This actually traded up to 271. It's bled back. Really needs to break through that VWAP here. Ticker CADL. Also worth mentioning, poking around the Twitter streets here today, seeing a number of other traders mentioning this one. Might have eyeballs at the open here. Next here on the list, this got mentioned by a number of you folks yesterday. This is ticker BROG. This is Brog Energy. It's had a huge move here, retraced all of it, went negative. Now it looks like it's trying to gear up here again. Just mentioning it because we talked about it yesterday. We'll see if we come back here. I'd be careful with this name though. Next here, Hollow, former ex-girlfriend, as we like to call it here. Hollow looks like this is starting to get ready here again. Let's see if it actually breaks through this 440 level to give us some more upside for a potential trade. We all have discussed Hollow, how junky it is. We watched it go to 51 and come all the way back down to 3. So just know what you're trading. But when you see this type of volume expand and this type of price action, there's definitely a scalp or at least one or two there to be had. So keep that in mind. And then Sundial. SNDL, excuse me. This is trading up here in the pre-market. We'll see if this can take out 280. That was the after hours high yesterday. I do see a bunch of you talking about some of the pot names today, so we'll actually use this to segue into that. Jay Rice, good morning. Hope you're doing well. Hope your recovery is going well. Jay is saying, I'm shorting pot names if they go green. CGC most likely. Okay, CGC has actually been really, really strong recently. I would like to know what else kind of fits into your thesis here. Is this just a regression to the mean? Do you think the run is kind of exhausted and it might be time to come back in? Is there a piece of news? Just would like to know what else plays into that thesis. We've seen a lot of these pot stocks really kind of run recently. If we take a look at the daily chart here, you can see we are up considerably. We were just about $3. Let's get an actual date there for you. Just about $3 in mid-March, and here we are at almost 11. So huge run very, very quickly on some of these pot names. Jay looking to short them. Okay, let's see what else did I miss here. You guys are already firing on all cylinders here this morning. That is exactly what I wanted to see. Tilray, you guys are mentioning today feels like a day to take some profits. Carmen, if you have them, I think you could take them. Lynn, Hollow, YOLO, Jolo, let's go. They're ready for you, Joe. They're ready for you. Jay's Life mentioning here CGC up 150% this month. Exactly what we were talking about there. Netflix getting mentioned here. Let's take a look at Netflix. This is actually doing a decent job holding its gains from yesterday. If we look inside the pre-market here, you can see we actually traded up yesterday, held the gains in the afternoon, a little bit of a run into the close, and so far we've kind of held those gains. So if we break out here, maybe a 634 breakout to the upside. If we break down, I would imagine we probably come into the 627 level and trade around there a little bit as we kind of figure out if we want to go lower or higher from here. Netflix, this one actually might not be bad to trade here today. Let's see what it does here around the opening print. Bitcoin names still near the highs. GUR, you guys are mentioning. Oh God, that was a fun one. We had fun with GUR. This is Gorilla Technology Group. They did pop here. This is a penny stock, so it's not on my movers list, which is why we didn't cover it here. But this flirting with $1 area. Okay, I think we caught them all, didn't we? Oh, we caught up. We caught up. Mahai talking about VVPR. That's been a recent mover. We might as well go ahead and check that. VVPR had a move here out of the pre-market, really didn't give any other upside move. Let's see if that story changes here today on VVPR. The other one that you mentioned here, KTRA, that's just a junky penny stock. I think that's under 20 cents. Yeah, 16 cents here.
Hey, yesterday somebody mentioned AISP, and
that was Glenn, I think.
Yeah, that moved up nicely all day, and it held, into the close a bit. It looks like it's starting to get going again this morning. This is something I might want to keep on my radar for some more upside. Next level I have to the upside is 1150.
Okay, there you go on AISP.
Oh yeah, Jay Rice, thank you so much. I saw this moving as well. Lunar. Yeah, they I didn't know they got a contract, but I saw they were moving this morning. That's what the news is.
Yeah, cool. Intuitive Medicine shares trading higher after the company was awarded lunar terrain vehicle contract with NASA. That is what Jay Rice is posting about here this morning. Oh, excuse me. You can see that did pop us as high as 7. We've come back in, but let's see what happens at this VWAP. VWAP at 655, current price 639. I think that gets challenged. We could very easily move through that. Good shout here, Jay.
Yeah, thanks, Jay.
FK also asking Lunar on news. Yes. So just to answer that question, yes, this is definitely going to be in play here today. Again, one of the things here, definitely watch these and see how they trade around the open. That might give you an indication on how the rest of the day is going to go. Also, look for size coming in on the open in either direction. That also might help you. So, okay. We caught up with everything. We've got less than a minute till the market opens. Let me flip over to my scanner here. I'm going to view the scanner out of the open. And then when we're ready, we're going to flip over to trade the pool and actually start executing. Hopefully we do better, hopefully I do better. You folks have been absolutely killing it every day. Hopefully I do better today with some of these smaller scalps, but we shall see. Jay Rice, I know you also mentioned CCJ back to 50. It's currently at 49.50. So we'll see if we can trade back up. That was an absolute ripper. It was an absolute ripper on CCJ. Don't forget, we saw a huge, unusual option print yesterday on that name.
TCBP, it's that's the pre-market one I was mentioning. This one, it got up to its VWAP, trying to push through it right now. See what happens in the next 10 seconds when we open. 5 seconds. Sorry, here we go.
Here we go. The casino is open, folks. Let's do it.
Let's see what it does. Is it going to push through VWAP or is it going to get rejected? CADL looks like it's pushing up out of the gate, trying to anyway.
TCBP stopping right there at that VWAP. Palantir still above its VWAP there. Lion Atlas calling out FCX. FCX, actually, this at 50 here. This actually looks like this might go higher here. FCX. COPX, that also higher. Copper Miner, higher there. CCJ, 49.50. We'll see if that ends up bouncing here. What else do you guys got? TVGN, you guys are looking for? Let's take a look at it. TCBP through that VWAP here. Let's see if that can keep rolling.
I think it's going to try for 250. If it can get through 238 here.
TVGN dropping out of the gate. Okay. Let's see. Don't really swivels halted. Seeing Meta and Nvidia calls. Lots of Nvidia calls.
All looking around.
Interesting.
Lunar sank.
Nvidia calls getting bought as it trades into its VWAP. Okay, let me flip over to trade the pool here. Let's do that, and then that, and then that, and we're all good to go. Carmen, SLV, what's going on with SLV, Carmen?
Silver
down just a little
taking
bit.
Profits.
Mara
right.
getting mentioned here. We'll flip around.
TCBP almost at 250. This was a good setup in pre-market.
Yeah, it sure was. Here we go. This was a good call on your part. CBP
right.
rolling here.
Let's see if it's going to get rejected or just blast through this thing. Looking like it's not getting the volume it needs to push through it, but we'll see. Oh, no, maybe it is.
LAC trading up here.
There it goes. Look at that beautiful move. And
right to the top, too. Right to this level, that the pre-market high here. Got that at 277 on TCBP. Did you hit this? Good job out of the gate here.
I hit a little bit of it. I didn't get everything in that candle, but I got some of it.
Yeah, I'm gonna kind of wait this one out. Good stuff here. Green on the screen from a man 13.
Yep.
Register ring, one up. Let's get some likes smashed up in the chat here.
And now it looks like it wants to go to 290. If it starts to pull back, I'd look to see if it can get support at 250. Man, this thing is just ripping right now, though. 290 incoming.
See if CCJ can firm up here. That might be a potential day trade there.
There it is, 291. Is it going to hold or going to come back in? It's going to go. Don't ever take this off.
I was going to say, I shouldn't have even taken this off here. This is still moving here. Three's got some size there. Yeah. Jonathan Cooper mentioning CADL. This was on. Okay, CADL right back to the VWAP here. This was on our list. Intraday high here, 224. We'll see if that gets taken.
TVGN going down, but if we continue to sell more with TVGN, then I think that we could probably get some support at 415.
I'm looking at CADL here, and I was like, this looks like it's going to push, and it with one pop went right back to the VWAP, but didn't go through. It looked like it was going to, but didn't here. Volume drying up a little bit. CADL still looks pretty decent. I still want to try this. I got an itchy trigger finger. I feel like here today. CCJ, by the way, did a good job holding that pullback to 49.50. It's trying to curl here. CCJ.
TCBP pulling back after reaching 292. Let's see if we can get some support from 250 if it even gets down that low. Good
morning, Alexander.
Airship taking off. Wait to 1150. That's the upside target I had. It's not getting through it yet, but if it does, $12 is the next one.
That's okay. That's AISP.
Mm-hmm. Looks like TCBP still strong. CADL. Sorry, I keep interrupting you.
Yeah, no. It's the CADL. This to me, this feels like it's going to go here, but I've been wrong on a lot of these.
It might just take a little bit of time, but we'll have to wait and see.
Jay mentioning GSIT still moving on the news. Indeed, and actually, this is a pretty decent formation here on this daily chart on GSIT. Possible breakout here at 550s. 550 is your spot here on GSIT. There's actually some size. It's trading right up to this spot. This is a great call, Jay. This was very, very timely. Very, very timely here on GSIT. CADL's at its 50% fib retracement.
Hollow's certainly whipping around.
CGC rolling over. Did you ever get your short opened up on? No, it didn't go green, right? That was a good call too, Jay. Man, you guys are on. You guys are on the setups here. I love it, and you're sharing them, and I absolutely love that. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Okay, what else is doing stuff? Okay, it looks like Palantir is getting ready to go higher. It's moving higher actually now as I speak. Ooh. Cattle just got a big old wall of sell orders at 214 put in.
Yep, sure did.
Let's see if that's going to push it down to the 65 VMA on the 5-minute, which I have at 185.
CCJ still holding out at that 49.70. Jay, I think you were right on that. I think that's going right back to 50. I think you're right on that one.
All right, what else? Man, Airship, that was awesome.
The CADL, the price looks, I mean, it looks like this wants to go back to the VWAP, but I'm not sure. I am not sure. Worth watching here. I'm going to keep flipping around. TVGN. That is free fall, it looks like. Yeah, I know. I think didn't you say back to 50 though, Jay? It's sold off in the pre-market and off that opening print. And I think this easily returns back. We're only 16 cents away at this point. But that was a 50-cent retracement that it's already eaten up.
Sorry to try to run over you there, but CADL is chewing through that sell order at 214. Hasn't gone through it yet, but it's cut it in half right already. It's really trying to retake VWAP and having a time.
Okay, I was thinking about this here down at like 207.
I mean, the volume just kind of went completely away.
They're taking more of it. There it goes.
There we go. Here we go. This is what I was looking for. Yeah.
There's a bid. I'm going to try some right here. Let's see if that bid really if it just kind of fails and come back. Oh God, there it goes.
Got to get above 225. That's what the last candle put in.
Let's see if this has another impulse move here right there. I want to see it take that out. Also, this is a battle right here at the VWAP. So if it goes through this, it could absolutely pop. Let's see if it does that here. CADL.
Let them fight.
A little, yeah. I mean, hopefully. I don't know what that's from, but I know you're quoting something.
Oh, it's from Godzilla. More recent ones.
CADL coming back here. This is what I get for buying the breakout. Careful on TCBP. I got burned holding that last time it went up. Of course, they offered stock the next day. That's actually happened to me too, Tony. It's happened to me too, Tony. That's why I try not to hold any of these junkier names. Come on, CADL. Give us one more pop here.
Lots of it looks like there was a big pull across a lot of these. What's a SPY doing? I'm
looking at SPY. SPY printed new highs out of the open, but it's kind of turned around since that.
Gotcha.
Come on, CADL. We're gonna have to take a loss here. I guess we'll hold this and see. Extend this out a little bit more. Take a little bit bigger of a loss if it trades back down. But I do think that this has another attempt here at this 225.
Yeah, Airship went Hindenburg just for a bit, so we'll see if it. We'll see if it can recover.
I shouldn't even be laughing at that, but I'm going to. All right, let me go ahead and set this stop here right below 2.
Hey, Marlon, I'm glad that worked out for you.
Hey, all right. Airship, right? That's what you were saying. AISP.
That's the one that that
Hindenburg. Yeah. So that's. I mean, I can't help it. That's funny to me. AISP, big pull here.
It's been long enough, right? We're not hurting any feelings.
I don't think so. Okay. It's actually a fascinating thing to read about. Just as an aside, TCBP looking like this is going to try and go higher here.
It's certainly looking like it. It's certainly looking like it. Whether or not it does it, that's a different story. But I think maybe if it doesn't get it in this in the next minute, it'll probably try and be able to in the next 5 or 10.
You're saying, Jay, I think what you're saying there is lunar is fading. Here we go on CADL. Let me go back. This is it. This is why we wanted to stay in and not stop out too easy. Let's get rolling here. How about that? Let's get rolling and go higher here. CADL. There we go. 246 has got the next size level here. I know they're bringing in a little bit of size. This is exactly the move that we wanted to see. Let's get it. 246 is what I'd like.
Palantir now really going down. Well, I shouldn't say really, but it's certainly off its open. I think that if we continue to sell here, it's probably going to end up getting support around 23.25. We'll have to see if that happens or not. Okay, Cattle, are you going to actually do something or not?
That's what I'm hoping for here. I'm at the point in this where it's like I really don't want this to go red, but I want more gains out of this. I mean, I don't really have a whole lot here.
Good morning, Rustam.
Good morning, Rustam. And I want to see this punch through this 238. Remember, 246 is one of those spots with size.
TCBP, it's breaking through levels. Holy Lord. This thing is broke through the next level I have. The next one after this is 335. I'm
gonna take this off so it doesn't go red, but I'm still gonna watch it. CADL. This pulled back. Wanted more than that. 233, 238. Your spots. We'll keep watching that one.
It pulled back, but it's getting support from the VWAP, or at least my VWAP. So that's good news.
Yeah, it is good news. Just trimming some of it here. If this starts to move back up on momentum, we can take some. Probably should have sold into that first spike, but I wanted 246 and we never got there. I'm going to keep this one on watch here. Sally is mentioning our friend Henry Cavill is still at it. That's KAVL. So we've got CADL and KAVL. This one doesn't have volume yet.
No, he hasn't really got off the ground, if you know what I mean.
I hear you clucking, big chicken. Born to be free. I'm offended. Oh man, I'm sorry, dude. I know.
Looks like
HubSpot. Holy cow! Did we have news on HubSpot? Did I just miss this? Let me check Pro for news on it. This is a rocket right here.
If it got news, it was after the fact.
It's a 38-point move. What happened here in HubSpot? Shares halted on circuit breaker to the upside.
It's Alphabet in talks with advisors about a potential offer for HubSpot.
There we go. There it is. There it is. That rumor coming from Reuters, by the way. Alphabet in talks with advisors. Wow. Okay. There you go. HubSpot. Okay. Who called this one? Brett. Yeah. Nick said he's got some errands to run. Nick did say he's going to try to make it. So I don't want to say no. He's for sure not coming. I don't know yet. Fingers crossed, though.
Ryan, we were just talking about advertising yesterday.
Yes, we were.
And this is right in line with that theme. We were just talking about this in happy hour yesterday. This is going to be interesting. We need to bring this up later.
So, okay, add that to the note sheet. So you're saying is that we've confirmed that there's some type of spy in our ecosystem that's listening to our clients' discussion and then reporting it the day after.
Look what the spy news had this morning about the exact thing that you put in your happy hour.
Yeah, let's do that here real quick because it was similar, but I'm gonna.
Here we go with cattle. Your cattle.
Really? Did I miss it? Did I miss it? Damn it! Yep, sure did. Let's see on 238 here. I would trim some of this here if you were still long, if you still held and didn't stop on the pullback. I would trim some up here. Okay, it's coming back in because I think that first of all, if you have some if this gears again, you're going to be all right if you're still holding on to some. And if you don't take this off the screen like I did, you might be able to rebuy some here. Yeah, I think this is gonna try and go higher right here. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I think it wants that after hours high of 272.
Let's see if this can kind of come back in. I'd like to hit this again, frankly.
The volume needs to be better than this, though. It just has some really good setups, some good indicators showing that there's some upside, but the volume needs to match all that.
Yeah, and the thing is like the volume seems to come out of nowhere, right? It looks like it's kind of just pedestrian, and then bang, you get that little spike there.
That kind of shows me how little participation there is in the markets right now. When it's like somebody just suddenly saw it and go, let's buy it.
Pull back beneath VWAP here. I told you trim if you were up there. I told you trim. I'm actually going to buy some of this right here real quick. See if we bounce. If we trade down to this 210, I'm going to cut it. Just trying to buy the pullback here. I tried to buy the upside break, didn't get as much as I want. Let's see if we get another move here on a pullback CADL. If we don't get this, if this trades down to 210, we're going to be very, very mechanical about this. This is just a potential scalp trade. Then I'll go ahead and take a look at those headlines there real quick. Come on, CADL, give us a bounce here. Show us some strength. Show us some strength.
And Datadog.
Oh, HubSpot is open. Keep me posted on that. I'll flip over to that as soon as I get back out of this trade. By the way, CCJ printing 5001. Jay, That is a one up. You did call that back to 50 here. I know it was only a 50-cent pullback, but called it right on.
Oh yeah, looks like Datadog is. What is Datadog running on today? Conference. That was yesterday. There's no news this morning, so it's probably something that happened yesterday. Anyway.
They're bringing a bid in here on CADL. Let's. God, can we get back up to that 228? Still looking at 233 if we trade back up there on CADL.
And they get above that VWAP again.
Yeah, a little bit of size here. Let me actually put a stop just so we talked about that being at 210. It's got a break 210. We're going to put it at 209. Oops,
hey, Wisdom.
Drop it one more. Remember, one of the things about this is that I already booked some gains on this, so would be okay. Actually came in with a little bit less size too on the second buy. We'll see if we end up getting that pop there. If we stop out here, we'll lose very, very little. Okay. Let me go back to what else were we taking a look at there? You guys were mentioning that HubSpot was open. Is that continuing to move north? Yes. Yes, it is. HubSpot.
Oh my God. I did not realize that root is over $70 now.
Yeah, I think it's safe to say that we just straight up missed this one, didn't we?
I mean, we had so many opportunities to get into it when it was still in the 40s and 50s, and it's still ripping. I just don't know where this squeeze
Here's
ends.
the thing, though. Like, I'm going to try it. I'm going to try and not get mad about that, because one of the things that I work hard on is not chasing green candles. And I feel like that's what I did. Now, I did miss out on quite a bit here, but the thing that I want to go back and focus on is what was that initial move? That initial move is what we wanted to capture. CADL looking like this is bouncing here now. That's what we wanted to see. Let's see if we can get back up to that 238. If we cross 230 here, I'm going to raise my stop and make sure that the second trade here is not a loss. See if we can get above 230 here, CADL. How's everyone doing this morning, by the way?
Yeah.
I know we've been throwing out. I feel like I've just been talking nonstop about tickers here. Here we are on CADL. This is exactly what we wanted to see. Stop loss being moved up now. 229 is the stop there. Oops, I meant to put that at 220. Oh, did I just get stopped out? Darn. Okay, well, I put it 1 cent too high. Still another trade. Are you sure you want to continue? No, I don't want to continue. Okay, two for two on CADL. We've got a little bit of hang on a sec. Let me get rid of this. What is going on? Oh, I think that this is interesting. I'm sorry, just dealing with. I think it says that I have an order out here, but I don't actually.
Do you have a cancel all button?
No. You know what though? You might actually be able to add that.
I mean, I would imagine you could.
Yeah,
let me customize platforms.
Let me see if I can. Let me see if I can do that, because here's the thing: I don't have any working orders. No. Yes, it won't let me cancel it. It won't let me cancel. Let me see settings. Let's see if there's a button here for it. View basic settings. Blah blah blah.
I'm just looking
trading. Cancel all. Cancel all. Let's apply that.
Look at STOK.
Yep. And it's grayed out. So that's just a graphical error there, I believe. Cancel all. Okay, cool.
No, you're right. VRI was also moving earlier. Did it pop? Let me see here. I was just looking at STOK. That's had a nice move out of the gate. Very low volume.
Did move from 640 to 715, by the way. So it did pop here.
Yeah, it looks like it's still going up. Just quite slowly, but awesome.
Love reading this, Lynn. Lynn says, we're doing great. Home away from home with live trading. That means an awful lot. Drop us out of a plane with an internet connection and we can trade anywhere. Okay. Also, you seem to be, you probably know how to use parachutes. If that's the case, that's awesome. SOUN being mentioned here.
Placing trades on the way down. Looks like CADL wants to try again.
Is that the stock du jour here today? A little bit of size here at 234. Remember, I had mentioned 233. Well, the size is at 234, so we're right there. 238, your intraday high. Sorry for running you over, 13.
Oh, it's okay. I don't know about stock du jour. It's been, going between 15 cents for the past 15 minutes. But it's I don't know about this one. I don't like the upper shadows that the past 3 5-minute candles been putting in.
Yeah, I feel you on that. Lion Atlas saying he's doing great. That's what we want to hear. Brett says sleepy, been getting up at 3:30. Yeah, I feel that, man. My body has like been naturally waking up at 5, and I'm like trying to force myself to go back to sleep, and it's like sometimes it works, other times it doesn't. Other times Buddy swipes at my head and wants food very early in the morning.
Oh, here we go. Cattle just went from had a huge bid come in at 225.
Okay, let's see if we can play a mo run here. I'm taking some right here.
Yep.
We just took that size out there. Okay, if this
needs volume.
Let's see if we can go through this high. Watching it on this high here.
Got to break 235.
Now remember, one of the things when we talk there we go, and they brought in a bid at 235. That's what we want to see. Let's go, dude.
Lovely.
Let's go. Now remember that 248, I believe, was the initial spot up. Let's see. 248. 239, your intraday high. Let's see if we can get above 241. They're trying to stack size above it. If this gets eaten, that's bullish.
Oh, this is fun to watch.
Get in. Not sure it's going to blast off. Kettle needs to break 235. Yeah, we're watching. Guys, we're watching the same thing. This is awesome. This is awesome. Let's see if. Go ahead, sorry.
Palantir been a dog out of the gate, but it might be finding some support on the 65 EMA on the 5-minute. Just need to see if it can hold this 2320 level. 2322, actually, it's got a big size. Sorry to interrupt.
No, you're totally fine here. Just want to discuss the trade plan as it goes. Cattle pulling here. One of the things that I want to do, I want to get this stop here at 224.
Nice call, Carmen, with iron. This looks like it wants to maybe even go a bit higher.
There we go. If we lose this bid here at 225, we're going to stop out on cattle, and we'll wait for it to set up again. We've already seen this thing set up a bunch of times. So if I take one small loss here, especially after having 2 green trade, there we go. Stopped out of it. We'll wait for it to set up again. No big deal at all. No big deal at all. FK mentioning that the tech sell-off continues. I still have that trailer on the the SQQQ calls. Okay, so tech, the Q's down from their highs today, but we are still in the green here on the Q's. SQQQ curling up off the bottom. This really needs to get above 11 for my position to be worth anything. It expires Friday. Thankfully, I've already booked gains on that. I do want to keep my eyes here on CADL though. This to me does look like a good relative volume play here. I've actually already built up some gains on this.
Yeah, lots of these movers, except for VERI, which is still pretty strong. These movers this morning are just selling off. Almost all the ones we've been looking at.
Check just to see if there's a bet and already dropped today. There is not. Okay.
Let's just take a look here at this chart.
Let's see what else. What else does the chat have here? What else does the chat have here? Not a whole lot. Okay, so we're not really missing anything. At least it doesn't look like that. Here's CCJ. It's still holding up here. Where's some of the NVIDIA lower? How's Tesla doing? Tesla sold off to this. I tell you what, man, these levels that I've been adding, I feel like every day they're in play here. Should have watched Tesla off this sell-off here. Double bottom. Geez, easy for me to say. Double bottomed at that 168. I know it's an intraday chart, but looking pretty decent. Nicola, Jay's Life mentioning Nicola. So here, let me share something with you guys on Nicola. I'm credit where credit is due. This stock, obviously, we all know what happened with this. Trevor Milton, the whole 9 yards. I have been calling this stock scammy and this and that for a long, long time. We had a gentleman, very, very patient gentleman, come into happy hour and say, "Hey guys, I know, Nicola, but watch it here, at least in the near term, because it looks like it's kind of getting ready to move up." And this was I believe, right in here. This was on March 27th. And that day, it moved up. The next day, it gapped up. Then it went up higher here. Now it looks like it's going again. I was wrong on this, and I gave this gentleman credit. He says he's going to get me a bottle of Talisker. We'll see. But anyway, I poo-pooed this, and it ended up going almost 100% from when I was bad-mouthing it.
The whole thing here with Nikola is that they are starting to emerge as one of the bigger turnaround stories in the hydrogen EV space. So I think and if you look at the daily chart, it had an initial run up to almost a 200-day SMA. That was about where you were talking. The gentleman from Happy Hour saying, "Watch it." It went all the way up there. It's come back in, found support. Now it's starting to curl and go back up. I'd look for a break, see if we can get a break of a 200-day SMA in this stock over the next several trading days.
Yeah, and I mean, I wouldn't swing this. I would day trade it, but that's a really good point. Just to assign some numbers to what you were just talking about there, 200-day at 117. That high on that recent run-up, 115. So you're right, 13. We basically tapped it, right? We basically tapped it and came back in. Watch that spot again.
Look at TCBP. It's holding this area here, and it looks like it wants to move up higher.
I'm going to check on cattle first. Okay, cattle's pulling here, so we'll see if this sets up again. You were saying TCBP?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. That came back into the VWAP. Looks like this is trying to go higher here. Size at 303 and 305. We'll see if that gets taken.
Yeah, it might take about 15 to 20 minutes, but it looks like this wants to break out of the intraday highs at 327.
Newsprint here regarding Nikola. Nikola reports production of 43 Class 8 hydrogen fuel cell EVs in Q1. That came from Seeking Alpha.
That's a small number compared to some of the other ones, but these are hydrogen fuel cells, so I don't think we have the production capacity in these companies nearly as high as these battery plays, these battery EVs. Now, what customers? Is this still Pepsi? Do they still have Pepsi as one of their customers? I remember they were one of the ones that initially were interested in the fuel cell trucks.
Crow joining us from X. Let's go, dude. Love to see you here this morning, Crow. Good morning.
People mentioning Ford. They are talking about retiming the launch of their three-row EVs to 2027. Delay Oakville transition. There's a bunch of headlines coming out. I'm not sure exactly which one it's moving on. I'd have to read through all of them.
Ford coming up on a 14 test here. SMR at the highs.
Yes, Jay's life. He really did. He really did that. You can make this stuff up.
Sometimes some of these stories here, I feel like, boy, if you wrote a book and I read that book, I wouldn't believe it. But then it actually happened. It's just crazy stuff.
Yeah, all you have to do is just think about where Amazon started and realize that some of these things aren't as crazy as they may seem. They used to be a book company. Now they're like the top cloud services company in the world, at least in the nation.
Devon here. This had a strong man. Look at this Devon daily chart. This is mentioned here from Lion Atlas. Lion, I hope you got this one, man. This was a double bottom here at about $40.50. That happened in February, early February. And now we're 12, almost 13 points higher here. Look at this run here on Devon. I wouldn't chase this move here, but if you got that, I'd trim into this move for sure. Nice job here on Devon. Good mention.
Yeah, Jay, you're right. Jay's life. You're right. You know, and all aircraft are flying if you let them fall far enough.
So you guys are just on fire today. Everyone is.
TCBP still trying to push up to the next level I have here, which is at 315. Palantir didn't get support from the 65 EMA on the 5 minutes, still going further. Next level I have is about 295 or 2295.
CRIS are kind of ramping here. Palantir, man, that's just straight down on Palantir.
No, Jay's life, it's not, but it should be. Somewhere there's a door plugs joke in there. Even the door plugs fall off. Boeing still fly, even if it is falling. It's just, oh wait, what did Buzz Lightyear say?
Boy.
It's not
Boy.
flying with style or falling with style, something like that.
You're the one with kids. You are the one that would remember what Buzz Lightyear said. That is for sure. Richard, greetings and salutations. Good morning. That is the most formal good morning I've gotten in a long time, and I appreciate it. Lyft coming back in. Jay, any more plans to add Lyft on weakness here? Maybe like 17. I know we're about 18 and a half, just under 18 and a half. Are you adding to Lyft for another move towards highs? And actually, this basically, I mean, it barely red. This basically was green earlier. Just looks like it's testing red. I wouldn't be surprised if this turned around here today.
Oh, Jay Rice, this is just one of those things the CEO does. He doesn't like shorts, so he just does. Like your point, he puts this pump piece out and kills the shorts briefly. that's his whole thing.
Wisdom here mentioning cattle dead on arrival. The only spot that I see here on cattle, maybe 2, but we'll wait that one out. We're in no hurry here.
Upper Shadows kind of told the story here with this one. It wasn't going to
you mentioned
get very far with that. Yeah. If it does break down, maybe 190 would be the next spot to catch it. We'll see. Jay, you're saying no? Are you talking about the
no, he was answering my question. I was asking him if he was going to add to Lyft, and he answered me and said no.
All right, TCBP, it's still holding this area here, and it's above VWAP. Watch for a break of 315 here at some point.
Lunar coming. Dylan, nice mention here. Lunar approaching VWAP, coming up off the bottom. Shame on me. I took this off my screen too much here. Looks like a bounce off that 594. Under 18 on Lyft. Okay, thanks, Jay. Lunar going for that VWAP. We'll see if it rejects here or goes higher. Sorry, 13.
No worries. For Lunar, I would like to trade this one, but I don't like it underneath all of this consolidation that it's put in the pre-market and after hours. I'd like to see it get above that, and then I'd be interested in trading it. And, I realize that if I don't take it now and it does go up there, that I'm missing out. But it's just, the risk there just doesn't seem worth it at the moment.
Johan Friesen, what is your X name? I like to follow you. My X name is @Faloona. I'll go ahead and throw it in the chat. My partner here, 13, doesn't have social media, which is why he's happy every morning.
Yep. Best decision I ever made.
Yep. I'll tell you what. Getting rid of my Facebook and going through the long process where you have to permanently delete. Yes, you're sure. Don't maintain my records. Changed my password to a random 80 string of letters and numbers. There's no way anyone's getting into that. Deleting Facebook was one of the best things I did in my 20s. It was one of the best things I did in my 20s.
CADL tried another shot at VWAP, still not getting through it. VERI just pushed to new intraday highs. What else? IREN, IREN, that was mentioned earlier, but I believe Carmen, that is trying to push to intraday highs, and it's almost there. It's got to get through 620, where there's a large amount of sell orders. And looks like PLTR is trying to come back, but doesn't seem like it's quite ready to yet. Or maybe it is. We'll have to see. It needs to recover here and retake. I'd like to see it retake 350. What else do we have here? CADL, so still up at VWAP. Maybe just give this one some of your attention. If it gets the volume to push through VWAP, then I'm not sure how high this is going to go. Might try to do that 272 level from the after hours, but it's more volume.
Jay, hang on.
Cheap options in Playboy.
Yeah, Jay, I just wanted to read the thesis here real quick. Playboy is down, but it's not out here. I thought I put the ticker here. I guess I didn't. ELBY. Playboy is down but not out. I can see TKO buying this company or artificial technology, virtual reality really helping this company. I'm looking at cheap leap options. Okay. Playboy here is not even $1. It's 98 cents here. I guess you're looking at this is a long-term lottery ticket. It feels like based on what you're saying here. That makes sense.
That's a smart way about looking at it with the virtual reality space. I think that's because we're starting to get into that with the headset from Google. Meta already has one. If they start putting that kind of content on there, I'm sure that would be a big revenue driver.
Okay, and he's saying yes, absolutely a lottery ticket. Okay, cool. So at least we've got the trade plan there. Russell's asking, where do you think Ford will go today?
Back to the dealership. Sorry.
No, the speed at which that came out is really what makes it so great. It's really what makes it so great. Let me take a look at a bigger chart here real quick.
Oh, here we go with Iron. This one looks like it really wants to take out 620. It's still got that size there, but we get the volume to chew through that. This thing will move.
So here is what. Let me actually draw this channel. I'll go here in a sec. Just give me one sec. And there we go. Looks like this. All right. So here's what we got on Ford. Let me flip back over here to Benzinga Pro. Here's what we got on Ford. When I say we, the happy hour crew has been watching Ford trade for a while. Actually, I have a former Ford employee that joins us all the time. You can see it's really kind of been hanging out in this channel. You could draw your lines any way that you want. If you want to kind of adjust this so it's more straight, you could do that as well. Except for this little dip here in October where we fell out of this channel. We've really kind of been bouncing around in this channel. Now, the one thing that I will say is we're about at the median point here. We're above a lot of these moving averages. The RSI just kind of crossed the 70 area here. So what I would say, who was asking this? Let me get your name right. Who asked me this? Russell. I would say this probably tops out in the low 14s. And then maybe I would like to see it either consolidate or kind of hang on to that level as the RSI creeps back in for another move to the top end of the range. But we have the top end of this range here at 1661. 1669, I beg your pardon. So where does it go today? I really think that if it keeps having some of the juice here, the low 14s is probably the top.
Yeah, I think this thing's definitely getting into the 14s at some point here. It did recently golden cross, let's see, back on April 1st. So that's a pretty good indicator that we'll see some higher prices. There's a gap to fill between about 1465 to 1490. So could see some pretty easy price action right in there to the upside. That's about all I have on Ford. I don't know when this will go up there, or even if it will, but I would say that 1450, about there between 1450 and 1460, that's where it needs to break through in order to go higher, because that seems to be a bit of a topping out area based on previous price action.
There you go, Russell. Let me flip back over to trade the pool here.
Wisdom, take a picture of that Model T and show us. I want to see it. That sounds cool.
Yo, CADL did go through the VWAP here, so it looks like it's not quite dead yet.
No, it's not. Not certainly down, but not out. But it's starting to push back up, make its way through these upper shadows. It's not looking too bad. This needs that volume. No,
it's been good today. It's been good today. That's why I've gone back to it. It hasn't really. That's actually still appearing on the relative volume scanner as well. This looks like this wants to try 250. Honestly, ALUR. This looks like a potential breakout here as well. This coming right off the scanner.
Oh, Carmen mentioning Iron. Did this thing do? Oh yeah, new highs in intraday. Nice call, Carmen.
So, what's up,
Carmen? She's funny.
Yeah, she is.
All right, time to see what's next.
So speaking of what's next, it looks like the next thing on the BZ YouTube agenda here is going to be Powerball at noon with Luke and the Moneyline CEO.
Ooh.
So we got nothing until then. So 13.
What What do you mean nothing? This is what we're doing.
Well, that's what I'm asking you. You want to go for an extra hour today? What do you think, chat? You want to go to 11?
We can keep shooting.
Go to noon Eastern.
I didn't have. Let's see, noon Eastern. I could do that. I don't have anything going on until
neither do I.
1 Central. So
okay, neither do. Maybe we'll do that. Maybe we'll do that. Looks like we'll try and extend this here another hour. If something comes up, I might have to change that on you, but I'll try and finalize that here for you.
So we're potentially going for another hour, folks.
Yes, confirmed. We are going now. Go. Right. Yes. Raise the roof, folks. Okay, awesome. This is this is turning into a good day here. It's turning into a real good day.
It's already a good day, Ryan. It's just going to get better.
That's true.
And it might be made better if cattle can actually, make that move up to the after hours high of 272. That would be fantastic. Lots of other things just kind of doing a whole lot of nothing now.
Okay.
Do you remember about MDIA and GMDA made some cash on it? Next is P.
Scott has no chill. Scott's like, just go to close. Look, I really like that. I appreciate all of the support. Smash up the like. We're going for an extra hour. We appreciate all you Twitter and YouTube viewers here chilling. Let's go.
Yeah, let's go to let's shut down the market.
Let's shut the market down. Oh, it's just the energy. The energy so great. Okay. I'm all sorts of lost right here. Let me
don't worry. I'm cycling through some stuff. I'm not really seeing anything. Jonathan Cooper saying BTC is running. I'll take a look at that. See what
it is. There. 68,000 now. It's been strong all morning. Bitcoin.
Mm-hmm. And here's the thing with it. We've been consolidating for for about close to a month now. Needs to kind of choose a direction, which I hope is up. I think it is. First thing we need to do is we need to get back to over 70,000. So we start doing that. It's going to look pretty good.
TVGN maybe put in a bottom here. Smoke Tuna, what do you think about this bottoming out? We got the histogram almost ready to cross. We got those signal lines pitching sideways at this point, maybe curling. What do you think, TVGN?
TVGN.
D-Nut, this is Krispy Kreme. This popping here on volume. This actually has an island, not the greatest island, but it's definitely one there. Nicola back under $1.
Yeah, I agree with Smoke Tuna. TVGN doesn't look ready yet.
Okay, there we go.
Iron just keeps pushing higher. Carmen nailed this one.
MXL, this looks a good looking chart. This right at the 200, Marlon. This one's good. Let me see if I can bring this up in my other or in pro here.
I'm going to see what ATAI is about that market side mentioning. This one looks interesting. Sorry.
Yeah, it's all right. I have MXL right through that 200. Looks like today is a move through that too. We're going to get a close above that too. This looking good here. MXL really quickly. Let me just show you this 13. I'm going to go to you next, or the stock that you have next. Here is MXL. It's really been under that 200 day. It's actually tested it a couple of times and was rejected. Today, it is different. So we gapped right through it. Let's see if we can close above this next spot up here. $30. A good mention here, Marlon. Potential swing. Max Linear as the ticker. What was the ticker that you had? AI. What was it?
ATAI. This is
you cut out there. ATAI. Okay, got it.
Yeah, this is getting mentioned by Market Sniper. It has a pretty nice bull flag formation set up here. If it can hold where it's at right now and start moving up, this would be interesting for a breakout at 285.
Yeah, that's right, Jacob. Everyone go hit that like button for Ryan and 13. Let's do it. Appreciate all your support, Jacob. All right, I'm going to flip back to trade the pool. Let's take a look. Let's take a look. Take a look.
What do we have next? Because it looks like some of those that we were mentioning earlier are starting to turn around.
Yeah, I'm going to flip to my scanner. I'll roll through these names. Then we can, if it's slow, we can take a look at some other stuff. MGNX. Actually, this has some pretty good volume here. MGNX. EJH. Was someone mentioning this earlier? EJH?
I don't know.
Homeland House Services. I feel like we've talked about this one quite a bit. This pulling back to its VWAP.
What does the EJH do?
eHome Household Service Holdings. I'd have to look it up in pro here. ACB getting mentioned. We talked about some of those pot names. Are they going green finally? Looks like ACB did. Yes, ACB did go green. Let's check in on CGC. CGC close to going red, green. Jay, let us know if you're still interested in taking that short here if this rips green.
So for EJH, this looks like a China-based housekeeping service that that they sell services on WeChat. It's usually for senior care and disabled people.
Okay. ALUR mentioned here by Jay's Life. This ramping here, this pushing away from the VWAP. Little bit spread. Would like to see some better volume on it, but not bad. CGC. You have some put spreads on CGC. Okay, Jay. Okay, I like how you're attacking this from all types of different angles. Hitting it from all sides, one might say. ACB popping here. This still at the highs here. This is the strongest of the pot names here this morning.
Careful. We're getting Wisdom super excited right now.
Yeah, I know. I know. We're going to have him contain himself. Red-green setup right here on CGC. Around Tesla, actually. Tesla did go green. Tesla looking like it's trying to go higher. Apple at the highs.
That's not what I want to hear. I don't want to hear Apple at the highs.
Sorry.
It's fine. It can do what it wants, but I want to see it under 165, 160 first.
Wiss saying Voozy news here. Let's take. Oh, okay. So Voozy definitely moving. Let me see if I can grab you that news real quick.
I saw that they had some other news earlier in the week.
So this morning here, before the market opened, Vuzix receives new additional orders from 2 aerospace defense firms to further develop their waveguide-based display solutions. Okay, so I'm not exactly sure what that is here. This news was out prior to the open here this morning. It was out at 8 a.m. Vuzi didn't really move a whole lot in the pre-market, but this thing moved from 125 to 150 here in the regular session.
Yeah, their product actually looks really cool. It's not great that this company is traded down so much. I don't know what their financials are like, but I don't believe it. They're very good, but their product is pretty awesome.
CGC green.
Little screens inside the lenses of the glasses.
Oh, it started snowing again in Chicago.
Oh, go make a snow angel and
it's not sticking. I can't do any of that, and it's not great golf weather either. So we're just gonna wait it out here.
Daniel Torres, I want 165 to 160 in Apple.
Yeah, we're looking for support areas to buy that at on weakness. Right. Jane says, Christopher C., no one can steal my crown on selling too early. I beg to differ, Jane. Hold my beer for 1 sec. I do that all the time. Did it yesterday, as a matter of fact.
Looks like IREN is going to go higher.
CADL just kind of jostling around its VWAP. IREN, this has been a big rip here.
Mm-hmm. That was a great call. I think that was early too. I think we were only about 15 or 20 minutes in when that was made. Probably even earlier than that. It's a great call.
Yeah, IREN 635. Some size here. We'll see if this gets broke. Morning invest in muscle.
Yeah,
good handle. Good handle right
there. That's the other gains to get.
That's the other gains. SNDL. Sundial coming up off the bottom. ALUR. Jonathan, you mentioned that a number of times. Breaking again. Volume expansion. Indeed. So, Jonathan, I love that you're spotting these because you're actually acting as a scanner for me. I don't have an extra set of eyeballs, let's call it. The first move here was on a little bit of a volume expansion. Now we're getting it again and new highs. Here's exactly what we want to see. No position, though. Here's cattle.
Yeah. It really looks like it wants to go higher. It just needs to take out that wall at 230. It's just been keeping it
230. I've got it at 230. Well, I see the size on the book at 231 spot, 230, 231, same deal. 233, I think, was one of the levels I was calling earlier. We'll see here on cattle if it breaks it. If it does, you think it goes for that 242 high? Think that's what we're looking at here?
I think it's going to probably get up to 240, and then we'll see what happens there.
What kind of CADL? What are? That's the other thing I've got to look at here and trade the pool. Is there a way I can? Yeah. See, this doesn't have today though. I got to figure out a way where I can check what the current volume is here. CADL, 15 million shares traded. This stock on average trades 83,000. It's traded 15 million shares here today.
Yeah, 19.73 million share float. Looks like there's some pullback in iron. About time too. Looks like EJH wants to go higher. This looks that way. I'm not saying it is.
It's flagging here, doing a good job holding that too. Someone I think mentioned Oxy earlier. Thoughts on this? So we talked a little bit about oil and energy recently. Oxy, I know this was a Buffett favorite for a long time, wasn't it?
Ken Basil, would you let an ex-girlfriend stay over at your house?
Thank God you didn't ask me that. I don't want to answer that. Oxy here actually above some of its recent area, our recent trading area here. This testing the January 2020 here. Let me show you the chart that I'm looking at. This testing the January 2023 highs. This, I'll tell you what, just kind of the more I back out and look at this chart, this looks like this wants to go higher. This looks like a potential 80 test here in 2024 sometime. And remember, I believe, if I recall correctly, energy was one of the weakest sectors last year, wasn't it?
I believe so. We have a table we look at for that.
Yeah, so it stands to, that's what I was trying to look for. Let me see if I can find that. So it stands to reason that maybe this year it's the kind of the opposite of that. Let me see.
Here, I'll just send it to you because I got it here on my bookmark.
Novel Investor is what it was called. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and it was the second worst performing sector last year, with utilities being the worst.
Okay. So there it is. Okay. So let me show you what 13 is referencing here, because we talk about this in the happy hour. We might as well share this with you. I'll go ahead and throw this link in the chat for any of you that might like this. This was something that was shared with us from another happy hour member, and it's basically like this little chart that shows you all the different sectors and how they finished with their year-to-date gains. And one of the things that you'll notice, like, for example, if we look at this ENRS, which is the energy sector, okay, you'll notice that if I just kind of highlighted it, when it's low or when it's down here, I know in these 3 years it kind of stayed here, but then the very next year it was at the highs for a couple of years. Then it was low, then it was high again. So you just kind of see how these sectors sometimes go back and forth with how they do on the year. So when it comes to energy, when it comes to oil, this recently, last year, 2023, energy was the second lowest sector, as 13 said. So maybe there's a move up in the energy names here today.
It becomes a game of whack-a-mole.
That's true. That is true. Okay, let me go back here and share this. Just a neat little visualization tool for any of you that might like it. Let's go back to trade the pool.
Yeah, and that's not really a thing you can, anything you can completely base it off of, but it's a very, very useful tool for getting an idea of what sectors are potentially set up to do well or bad in the current year or the following year.
Jay mentioning that Bernstein saying Reddit, ticker RDDT, is a crap meme social media company. Reddit lower on that being put on blast there.
Let's see. Yeah, I think Bernstein's right. Because I mean, we talk about this. We've talked about this frequently lately, and the revenue that they're going to be getting from advertisements is probably going to. We think it's going to be under pressure because the company's now beholden to shareholders, and that means they need to turn profits. And if some Redditors start posting things that the advertisers don't like, well, then that thread's going to probably get taken down. Redditors are not going to like that. They'll leave the company. That's fewer eyes on their advertisements. It's lower revenue. It's not a model that's really working right now. It's an older model.
ACB here. This absolutely ripping. Kingdom Lamb saying it just won't stop. You are spot on. Of all of the cannabis names, this one the strongest. Holy smokes.
It's the highest, you would say.
Oh, it's the highest. How did I miss that? That was just sitting right there for me to take. And I just met Wisdom is probably disappointed.
Yeah.
Thankfully, you're here.
He's like
Thankfully, you're here to bring it up. All right, awesome. Oxy, by the way, at highs, looks like it's breaking out intraday here.
Yeah, one thing that I still want to, when I'm looking at with energy is if we do break out of this rising wedge in the XLE, or if we reverse like the technical pattern would suggest it's going to. So if you look at the XLE and you try to draw a line across the tops from June 22 all the way through the November of 22 up till now, that would be the level that I would see the price going to reach that trend. Now, if we hit that trend and turn around, that would make sense. But if we break out, then yeah, I don't know what's going to happen with energy or how it's going to go.
ALUR, a number of you folks have mentioned this one. This just continuing to ramp. Like the volume looks really good here. Obviously, the price riding up on the VWAP looks great here. I just can't chase this though. Just can't chase it. Yeah, Jay's life. Yeah, I'm not going after it here. I'll wait this out. I'll wait this one out. Wisdom just out of control right now. Lion still mentioning DVN again. Devin, this is actually still holding up. This has been on a great run recently. Oxy looks good too.
Looks like CADL is finally starting to roll over. If it can't get support here,
yeah, I think you're right. This probably goes lower here.
It's probably going to go lower.
Lower highs on these moves back towards highs. Brett saying holy smokes works too. Okay, I guess that's true. Oh, the pot
Wisdom,
jokes are fun, dude. The pot jokes are fun.
Yeah, but Wisdom's coming in with some other jokes too.
Ryan just doesn't have the allure to swing the X. It sounds like that sounds like a poke there. That one's not as funny. Or perhaps I just don't get it as much.
BERI 733 new intraday high. And what else is happening out there? Anybody else seen anything?
Doing after that halt to the upside earlier. Okay, so it came back in and is curling again. HubSpot, interesting.
Yeah, that looks like an interesting chart. It just needs
Dylan mentioning that DKNG, is this new news? Is that? Let me check that out in pro here. I didn't actually look at Donkey Kong here this morning. Looking at the news tab here. Yeah, DraftKings, that is from today. Yeah, that was 28 minutes ago. Oh, this is investigation though. Right? This PR here?
I don't know, but
yeah, it is.
We got some mentions of VRI. Well, it's still, oh, that's moving. You're right. AISP setting up. That's Airship. I guess they put the fire out. Oh, yeah.
Oh, the humanity, man.
Mm-hmm. So for me, with Airship, I want to see it get through that consolidation between $10.80 and $11. And I might be interested in going long on that one.
Good news that it didn't really break down past 10. It just kind of held it and bounced. 13, I'm going to step away for 1 sec. You good?
Sure. Yeah, go ahead. No, Allure, that great call. This thing is just, it's up almost to $4 now. Looks like we have quite a wall there at $3.99. So we'll see if it can break through that. What else do we have here? Allure could do a hollow. What's the float on Allure? I know that with hollow, that was one of the big things. It's just a recent IPO too, isn't it? Don't have a read on the float. Do you know what the float is for Allure before I go and look on FinBiz? Let's see. You are 36 million shares it looks like they have. So we'll see, maybe. What else are we looking at, folks? Been in DVN and NEN for the last 2 months. Putting money. Hey, great job, Lion Atlas. Sorry. What are you guys looking at? I'm just kind of waiting for some things to set up. It really does look like Hubs wants to get back above their VWAP. The lure still looks like it's going to try for 4 at some point here. ATAI is one thing I've been watching. It's sort of curling, but not yet. I think it needs more time on this one, but it's one I'm watching. IREN really coming back down off of the 635 high print it made intraday here. Might find some support around 6. So there could be a potential bounce there.
That also might be a setup there. If that bounces from that 6 level and then reclaims that VWAP, you might actually have some juice there.
Yeah, interestingly, cattle is still hanging in there. Hasn't broken down yet. Close to VWAP, so but I just really don't know which direction this is headed right now.
Born saying I'm trying a Jedi mind trick on Apple and it's not working. I haven't mastered the Jedi mind trick myself, so let me know. Let me know if you end up figuring that one out.
Yeah, I agree, Jay's life. It's the market's kind of
keep trying. Let's go.
Oh, Wisdom, don't worry. I'm sure you're one of the prettiest people here.
Jay mentioned in VFC 6 months ago, this thing was working, wasn't it? Or did it, VFS? Excuse me, my mistake. And Mullen, man, I don't know if you guys were. I don't know how many of you remember this, but I mean, Mullen, we've talked about how garbage this thing is. There was a day where I was like, I tried day. I think I was with Mitch and Zunaid that day, and I tried day trading it, and I was like, I knew going into it, I was like, this is going to be bad, isn't it? This is going to be bad. And sure enough, I ended up taking a loss on it. And I was just like, oh, I was so frustrated. I was so frustrated with it.
Cattle's trying to make that another push through 230, 231. Getting a little bit of a green bull move here.
Yeah, doesn't this need to what's the spot to watch here?
This is it, 230. It needs to get over that.
231 has got that the size there, but you're right.
Yep. We need the volume to expand here. Otherwise, I think it's going to put another upper shadow. Mullen's a face ripper. I mean, it started looking good. Now it's starting to slow down with the volume. So I don't know about CADL. It's really
I'm with Jay on Mullen. Stay away.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea. It's probably a good idea in a lot of the EV spaces right now.
CCJ back to 50, by the way. That looking like that's going to try to go higher. 51.33, a breakout spot on that.
Jay Summers calling for Very to go to 1350, natural progression to 939.
OUST. This has been a really good mover. This move from 5 up here at 10.5 bucks.
That seems like Oust is in play almost every day.
Yeah, it sure does. It sure does.
Yeah, I agree, Jay Rice. I don't want to touch EVs right now. Maybe if I day trade one, it'll probably be Tesla, but I also want to touch EVs.
I mean, I would day trade Tesla just because every day that stock moves around. That's something where you can get some volatility, but it has nothing to do with it being EV. It's just because it's volatile. I'm with you on the EV sector.
Oh, no, don't worry, Randy. I agree. She is beautiful. Market Sniper saying Allure could take 4 on this run. Is that what's going to happen? Well, maybe.
Let's flip over to it and take a look. ALUR. Looking like this is trying to go for some new highs here. What do we have as the high print? I don't think I see it on my ladder here. Oh, yes, 395. So it's just above here. Here we go, 20 cents away.
And I was looking at something else. What was it? CADL. We broke through 230. Here we go. 230
242. Yep, that's
Go.
your high. That's your high. It's going for it. Nice little curl here away from the VWAP CADL.
Oh, lovely stuff. Next,
CGCJ. Jay, that's right. This did go red. Sorry, 13. This did go red to green and then green to red. It's not red by a whole lot, but good stuff, Jay. It's a good start. Gave us that plan before you even took it, too. That's where it's at. Maybe that'll really start to accelerate if that loses the VWAP, Jay.
There was a question earlier about if HWH is turning around. It might be. I'm not completely convinced on this move yet. I'd like to see it get back above VWAP and then move its way through the consolidation from pre-market, which is topping out at about 250-ish. So I'd like to see that number before I decide to trade it. TCBP still heading lower. TCBP, maybe watch for 215 support. If we don't get it there, then probably $2.
GUR is GUR getting another mention here?
Oh, mentioning.
I forgot. This is a penny stock. Kingdom Lamb saying the knife for cattle is coming. So we're right up at these highs. Let me ask you, Kingdom, do you think maybe we punch through these highs and then get that knife? Size at 250 right above these highs, by the way.
We could probably get it very soon, like right now. Sorry.
Yeah, no, it's you. I was just saying, backing off that spot. It's right here, though. 13. You're absolutely right.
I think I don't know what exactly he's looking at, but for me, it's the volume. It just wasn't enough to. It was enough to get through 230, but not to keep going.
Said I was joking, but I wouldn't trade it right here. I wouldn't buy this at resistance either. Right? I mean, we've clearly seen that this has actually given you a signal at or near the VWAP, and it's given you a signal when it's confirmed its curl off the sell-off. It does not show you, it has done nothing to show you that when it breaks out of one of these spots, it's going to keep rolling. I too wouldn't buy it up here. I wait for it. That's what I was trying to do earlier, right? If you take a look at some of these, I know I bought that second one. Let me zoom in here. That last one here where I actually stopped out on it, that I was trying to get it break. That was because we tried hammering on it 3 times. Once I had that data, I'm like, no, now it has to confirm that for me. Otherwise, we're going to trade this on weakness on a potential curl.
Iron is looked like it is reversing. I'd like to see it get past 620 and close, get some candles closing above 620. Because if we don't, then it might put in a bearish pattern, head and shoulders. So we'll see. We will see. Looks like Palantir still going sideways, trying to find a bottom. See if there's anything that materializes out of that.
The good news here, 13, is that this is holding higher than where it was yesterday. I know it's retraced about 80% of that pre-market move, maybe 75% of that pre-market move, but it's holding in here. And maybe that's kind of setting up for the next move up.
Gregory Benton.
Yeah,
BRT. Take a look at that.
So what caught my eye here, Gregory, is that you were mentioning Stella VRT looking healthy, especially at 85 with 3 weeks till stellar data center report. So that's what caught my eye, because the happy hour group was recently discussing data centers and all of the plays connected to them. We actually had some research given out by one of the gentlemen that joins us all the time. So shout out, stay focused if you're out there. This data center play is a thing behind the thing for AI. And I really like this. I don't have anything really positioned for it yet, but I like it. I like the setup. VRT, wasn't this in there already? I think this was in the document that we got. All right,
it might be, but
I'm pretty sure it was.
Yeah. I don't have anything bad to say about this company. Looks very good. Got almost $2 billion in revenue. I mean, geez.
APM, this looks really low volume smoke tune. I'd stay away from this until this picks up. VRT though, let me go back to that. Let me chart that on an actual bigger chart here.
I mean, this could be a pretty good data center play. It has the institutional investors. It's got cash. It's got revenue. It's looking good.
Here's the thing that's really got me though. We're chasing up here, dude.
Looks like everybody agrees.
Yeah, this is extremely extended. I mean, here's the thing though. Like if this is actually, oh, by the way, Nelson Peltz coming up on CNBC. Just saw that here. There's going to be some talk about Disney.
Oh,
I guess we can take a look at that. CCJ, by the way, moving through 50 now with VRT here. I mean, maybe on pullbacks. This just feels really extended to me. This feels a lot like Nvidia and SMCI. Now, with that being said, those are obviously ones that are moving on that AI train. Who's flagging up here? Let's VRT. I'll keep this one on my watch list. I can't. The trader in me just says, it's so extended. Can you really buy it up here?
Yeah, here's the thing. When I look at longer time frames, then your point really resonates. You look at a weekly, the RSI is at 87.9. You look at a monthly, the RSI is at 90. This
is vertical, dude.
Yeah, this is I mean, if you were in this at 20, you're doing absolutely wonderful. And congratulations. Up here, where it's starting to put up some upper shadows and looking like it's getting weaker, I don't know that I'd want to buy up here, especially after this run. This thing needs to cool off, in my opinion. Not to say that it couldn't go higher, but I think it needs to cool off.
Yeah. Critical for winning and for wiring and cooling systems for VRT. Yeah, and that's going to be a huge data center play. No, I see the thesis, and I like it. And like I said, I'm big on that data center. I don't have positions built for that yet. I am big on that though, and I think that this fits in here. I'm just scared off by the vertical wall on the chart. CADL getting mentioned here for a potential day trade.
Yeah, to your point,
same spot.
To your point about VRT, I just I don't like buying into strength. I like buying into weakness. This wouldn't be the thing that I'd get right now. If it starts to sell off and maybe starts to create like a bull flag or pennant or some nice pattern, that'd be really interesting to me. And I'd be taking a much closer look at this.
Yep, no problem, Gregory. Appreciate you bringing this. We love taking a look at new stocks like this. And I know that we're talking a lot about day trading here, but I've mentioned it a number of times. My preferred method of trading is swing or even, investing. If you really kind of hook a great company here. So I always appreciate bringing stocks that we're not actively talking about, especially if there's a good theme. And this one absolutely fits into that. This fits that bill for sure. So really appreciate it. Deep Space, awesome handle. TVGN asking, is it dead? You know what? I hesitate to say that it's dead because so far it's holding here. It's not really showing me, it's not really flashing me a buy signal yet. I know the histogram flipped green, but it didn't really have any juice. The good news here is that it's not just continually selling. I want to see more volume action in here before I even think about this for a potential trade. There's other stuff that's trading on better volume right now.
To me, it looks like TVGN is trying to start to curl. I'm looking on a I'm looking at a 5-minute chart, and I can see that the MACD is starting to get close to wanting to cross. So that that we could see some of that convergence happen here. But the thing is that when I look at a 15-minute chart, it's getting support from the 65 EMA, and it's consolidating right down where there was consolidation previously in March, late March. So if that's a demand zone, so if we can hold there and keep trading sideways for a bit, I think it could reverse and come back up to VWAP. So that'll be one thing I'd be watching for. If it can hold this area above 350 to 360, that'd be a good sign for me that it's curling and potentially moving back up.
Jay here, trimming some of the CGC put spread, quick 250. We'll give you a register ring on that one. Awesome. Again, big thing there. You told us what your plan was prior to it happening. You executed. You told us when it's closed. We absolutely love that type of thing there. That is the processed approach from experienced traders that we want to keep promoting here. Really quickly, Nelson Peltz being interviewed by Jim Cramer right now on CNBC. I can't hear what they're saying, which is probably a good thing since I'm happy right now. But this is going on right now. Disney might react. Let me pull Disney up here and see what the stock price looks like. It's holding in here.
That mention of COCH, even though it was very, very low volume, it's been moving up. Now the thing with this one is that if it gets to 620, I'd be very nervous about it coming back in, as it's shown to do when it reaches that level. Yesterday, it got up to 649 and came back in. So it just briefly broke 620 and came back in. Then again, it went up and tested 620. It got as high as 623, came back in. Now we're curling again. I think we're going to take another shot at 620. And if it doesn't break out and go higher, then I think it's going to triple top and go lower.
Which stock was that?
This is COCH.
COCH. Okay. CADL, by the way, stopped at that same spot on the way up, came back to VWAP here. So you tell me, you taking the thing at VWAP, or do we get that knife that people think is coming? We didn't break out. Volume sticks drying up here. No. Hey, little cat. Are you upset that I'm still on the computer?
If you still want to trade CADL, maybe set an alert if it goes lower. But look, to your point about the volume, I think it's starting to get a little tired, and I'd be looking at something else.
We hit it earlier. We were on it when it was moving.
Right.
So happy about that. Tesla here up to that 170. Let's see if it stops right here. This is a resistance area that we've obeyed here before. Also, I believe a former support area on the way down. But Tesla here right at one of those spots.
I think Smoke Tune is right. Allure is just getting ready to set up for the next leg. Needs to hold VWAP. My VWAP is about 240 or 345. And then it's got to chew through 380, where there's some a large number of sell orders.
Can you hear that?
Hear what?
Okay, good.
I mean, I hear a lot of things. I just want to make sure I'm isolating what it is you're talking about. What was that? Just kidding. ATAI may be finding some support here. It traded down to the demand zone put in from the pre-market and after hours trading, and it got bought back up. Now, this would be interesting if we can reverse here and start to trade up. The unfortunate thing is the volume's still pretty low. I'm going to wait to see if this one continues to curl, and if it does, I might be interested in it.
Okay, I'm sorry for getting distracted here, but I just want to reiterate that working for Benzinga has literally been one of the greatest things of my life. A lot of that is because the team here, the actual people that you work with on a daily basis, are so great. We had a developer stumble across an AI song generation tool, and the amount of laughs that are being generated from this are tremendous. I started my day with that, likely why I'm so happy here today. So I apologize for losing focus for a sec here, but my God, is that stuff funny?
Look at Hubs. It's back up to VWAP. It looks like this thing wants to go higher. I don't know about this one because, for me personally, because of the price is a little bit high for me. And
it's spread, yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know that I'm trading this, but I'm just kind of making this mention here that Hubs is looking, looking interesting. If we can get above VWAP, it probably could go back up to the intraday high of 693.85.
Glenn here saying Tesla to 172.57. So you look like you're looking for another $2 of upside here on Tesla. Very still at the highs here. This was that interview that Zunaid did. That was good. This thing has been strong.
When did he do that?
That was I would have to ask him what the exact day was. Wasn't it last week or the week? It was either last week or the week before.
EJH volume's still low, but it looks like it's trying to go back up, just very, very slowly. I don't know. Not sure about that one.
Curl looks good. Volume doesn't.
Yeah, I agree.
Curl looks good. Volume doesn't. Bitcoin, by the way, I know we mentioned that quite a bit earlier here today. Bitcoin still near the highs here, 68,400 on the futures chart.
170.
Randy bought a guitar and started writing AI songs. Watch him hit the Country Music's Hall of Fame, driving a Tesla. I mean, I didn't know Randy could play the guitar. I'm trying to teach myself, but man, I'm not good at it.
AISP volume's still a little bit low, but it's making its way back up into that consolidation area I was talking about between 11 and 1080.
This did a good job reclaiming its VWAP and then holding on to it. Palantir actually at that spot here. Good call here, Will. This back at VWAP. Let's see if this does the same thing, right? Let's see if this actually holds it and then moves higher here. Hey, stay focused.
Good morning. Stay focused.
I was actually
just talking about you.
Yeah, we were just talking about you. All good things, of course. We had a gentleman ask about ticker VRT, which seems like it fits into the data center play. And I couldn't remember if that was part of the research that you had done, and I didn't want to speak for you. But in any case, welcome. Good morning. Hope you're doing well. We got a surprise for you. Stay focused. There was actually nothing on the agenda here for Benzinga YouTube between 11 and 12. So 13 and I are just going to keep going. So let me know what stocks you're looking at. What are you trading here today? Would love to take a look at that. Oh boy, we got another surprise for you, folks. We've got another surprise. Do you guys like surprises? Yeah, VRT. VRT. Let me make sure I'm not transposing the name. Yeah, VRT was the stock. I have to mute that thread about the AI music because it's literally just making me cheese over here. All right, we're gonna welcome back another guest here.
Cool.
If they're ready, I just want to make sure. I don't want to put them on the spot. Okay, we got a thumbs up here. Nick's back.
Hey.
Nick, how you doing, man?
I'm good. How are you guys this morning? A lot going on, even when in my absence. We've had like Google News, Disney CEO being interviewed by Faber.
So, Nick, we've got good news for you, actually. There was nothing in the schedule here from 11 to 12. So live trading is going to keep going. So I know that you were busy this morning, but guess what? We got some more time. I had mentioned earlier that Nelson Peltz was being interviewed on CNBC, but I have it muted here. Can you update us on what's going on there?
Okay, so I'm just getting in here, and I've been seeing the headlines cross, but let's just recap here. So Iger was interviewed this morning on CNBC, basically saying that the proxy vote was decisive, a true endorsement of the board, basically saying the shareholders care about top priorities like ESPN, streaming, and parks and resorts, something that we've touched on the show, and the market is reacting to how Disney is performing, not activist movement. Now we have Trian founder Nelson Peltz on CNBC being interviewed saying that he hopes that Disney's Iger can keep his promise. If they do it, they won't hear from him again. Basically going on to saying Disney needs a succession plan that's in the works. And he also says that he was very surprised by some of the index funds that voted against him in the proxy vote.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, I just saw that clip come up here. Said thought they were in a good spot when they left those meetings, but then surprised to say, I wonder what happened between the end of that meeting and actual time to vote. Good update there. Good update there, Nick. Disney relatively flat on the back of this interview, by the way.
I was going to say, watching the interview, sorry, 13, but watching this interview come, it seemed like the interview was supposed to be slated around 9 a.m. I actually didn't leave the house until around 9:30, and the interview was literally almost just kicking off. And it seems that the interview with Iger went a good 25, 30 minutes, just seeing the headlines come on pro. And now we have Peltz. So I like how CNBC is balancing this out, not only getting the Iger perspective, but also getting the Peltz perspective.
Yeah, that's a really good point there, Nick. And I'm glad that you brought that up. I do appreciate that as well. If you're gonna talk about a stock and financial decisions and all of that, I don't think you can possibly go wrong presenting both sides of that. And I can really appreciate that. That's a good mention there. CADL getting mentioned. Yep. Guess what?
Breakout. Yep, that one broke out, and it looks like ATAI is still in the process of curling. That's another one to watch. Nick, I had a question. I don't know if you know the answer because it's not related directly to what the interview was about. But do you know if Disney, who Disney has lined up to take Iger's job?
Okay, so that is still in the works, and we brought up, I believe, on this show the one female. I forget her name off the top of my head. who is supposed to be in takes. We actually don't have the plan that's released physically. It's still in the works, according to Iger, even according to Peltz at this point, that the plan is still in its early phases. CEO Bob Iger really hasn't touched on it a lot, saying, hey, this is going to be my successor. We just know that the plan is moving along. A successor plan is in the works, and maybe that will be released whenever they report quarterly results. It should probably be released here sometime in the near future.
Okay. Thank you for all that.
Yeah, no, good stuff. And welcome back, Nick.
Thanks.
That's awesome.
I don't get off the hook, not even on a day that errands are being made. We still got news coming.
That's right. That's right. We appreciate that type of dedication, man. That is awesome stuff.
The story of life never ends.
That's true. Jonathan here real quick. So first of all, just a couple of things to clean up here. Stay focused, confirming that my suspicion was correct there. VRT, good company. It was in my report. That's what I thought. I recognized it from somewhere. Jonathan saying, Ryan, data center play with TMC building the US fab. They will need a boatload of lithography equipment from ASML. I was actually looking at this more from the water angle, because those fabs are going to require a lot of water. It's something else that we've talked about in happy hour. But this one, another interesting play. I am actually not as familiar with ASML.
Mm-hmm. This is a big. Okay, so in the semiconductor manufacturing space, these kind of this company is a very, very big player. So big that I think the current administration is trying to prevent them from or asking them to stop doing business or giving or helping them with developing their own fabricators in China. Because of that whole situation. But ASML is a very, very important company in the semiconductor fabrication space. And I think he has a good point, but I think it might be a little too early to start getting into this, because those buildings that are going to need these fabricators, they're still a ways away from being completed. Personally, I'd probably want to see the price come in a bit anyway. It's been on a bit of a run, but I do agree that at some point this is going to be a big important company to own when they need those fabricators. So
yeah,
but I think it's a bit early.
Okay, and I can appreciate that here real quickly. ASML, the leader in photolithography systems used in the manufacturing of semiconductors. Its biggest client, ASML's main clients, TSMC, Samsung, and Intel. So you're spot on there with the connection that you're drawing here. 13 seems like he's got a pretty good line on this. Maybe a little early on this one. It is a pretty expensive stock here. And here, let's take a look real quick at this screen. This is your daily chart here. As you can see, this near all-time highs, I believe. Let's bop it out to the weekly. Yeah, this thing, again, same deal here as VRT. These have really kind of run. I'd be looking more for an addition on weakness. And like 13 saying, if we're early here, we should get a pullback there that should be viable. Stay focused. I'd love to hear what you think on ASML. Just out of curiosity.
I do think it's a great mention, though, because it is a very important company. It's just about the timing. I think the timing is not right, but eventually this will be. Maybe because there are a lot of indicators in this that suggest that it is going to go higher. But because of the run that we've had, I really want to see some weakness first.
Hey.
I was going to say, I don't think you guys touched on this, Ryan, while I was out, but we saw today that Ford has been transitioning, is going to be cutting production from EVs, moving into hybrids. And we've been with this discussion. I don't know, what were your initial thoughts when that news hit?
Yeah, we talked. Let's go ahead, 13. I'm sorry.
They're late. That's all I have to say.
You were looking for something more than that, weren't you, Nick? It's
a little bit. I was going to say, I mean, is that a surprise? I mean, are EVs really that popular as they sound? Everybody makes it seems like EVs like the #1 selling car here in the United States of America. But when you look at it, it seems hybrids, and you're branching out, that not everybody, and not even here, I believe the United States government is fully committed to EVs.
Yeah, I mean, to me, I'm not. I assume that you're asking me about the news from today. The company announced the delay of the launch of its 3-row electric vehicles in 2027, and announced it's expanding its hybrid electric vehicle offering. So my initial answer to that is no, I'm not surprised. Hybrid seems to be the winning formula. They're going to probably get these EVs out eventually. No, this doesn't necessarily shock me. I guess, what shocks me a little bit more maybe is that Ford is green. Ford is green here today. It's actually been on a little bit of a run. One of the things that we covered here, Nick, just from a chart perspective here, we've been looking at Ford pretty much every day for a long time. Like I mentioned earlier, in the happy hour, we have a former Ford employee there. And we've been looking at this channel recently. And one of the things that we noticed here is that this recent run took us to the middle of this channel. I'm actually expecting the price to kind of either slow down or consolidate here, maybe even regress a little bit. So I guess in that regard, I'm surprised, but no, on the surface here, the headline does not surprise me. Real quick, I keep clicking on the wrong button. Real quick here, Pat, love it. Followed and traded CADL this AM with you. Great money, thanks. You're welcome. I'm gonna give you a register ring and a 1-up. By the way, real quick, smash up the like for our guy Pat here. Does a great job, just like 13 does, helping out with the Benzinga Pro chat room. We are grateful for that. Pat, it's great to see you here this morning. Love that you're rolling on some fresh made money.
Yeah, I think when it comes to Ford and EVs, they're late to the party. They started putting out EVs in a way that it didn't really give them time to test it. They just said, "Hey, F-150, let's go." They didn't put out a smaller car, or maybe just have a lower produced model like GM did, where they've had electric cars for a while, and it was the Volt, I think is what it was called. Mm-hmm. They've had some other things,
Volt?
So the Volt. I know there's
it's one of those Chevy Volt, I think Chevy.
But
Chevy Volt, yeah.
They started. GM started small and tested the waters, and Ford seemed to just trying to jump right in and build 3 new EV manufacturing plants without ever really testing the water. So I think that was their big mistake.
They had a Bolt and a Volt.
Okay.
Okay. I'm sorry.
We're both right.
You're welcome, Pat. Good to see you this morning.
Ryan, I wanted to ask you this, given you're on X. Did you pay for the check mark?
Yes.
Okay, I was going to say, we are now seeing on X and 13. Are you on X? Are you on any social media that we can follow you on?
No.
Okay. Well, anyways, to my point here, did you see where X is now gifting people premium, just gifting the blue check mark away now? And there's reporters saying, absolutely not. I do not want it.
I have not seen that. I'm not at all surprised to see reporters thinking that they're high and mighty and above everyone else. That part doesn't shock me at all. I didn't see that they're giving it away. It's cool that they are. I feel like, someone that might not be willing to pay for it, that kind of gets it and sees what it's like, might then be willing to pay for it. So I don't mind that. I'm certainly not salty about me paying for it and then other people getting it for free. First of all, just so you're aware, when it comes to X, when I started using TweetDeck for financial stuff, or with Twitter for financial stuff, I used TweetDeck. TweetDeck is the best way to look at Twitter, and I have custom feeds for tech, natural disasters, stock trading, sports. I mean, you name it. That became a feature of X Premium. Okay, so for me, paying for that was NBD for a couple of reasons. Number one, I feel like I've been using this for free forever. Now they're going to the better models going to paid. Okay, I got it for free for so long. I'm still kind of working off that, and the amount was not a lot. I mean, $8 a month. I paid yearly. I think I got it a little bit lower than that. It's not really expensive. No, I did not hear that. That's something I will actually take a look at, but it doesn't bother me at all.
Don't you think, though, Ryan, that when they made the transition to X Pro or X whatever the new TweetDeck is called, it lost some features? It's just not hitting like TweetDeck did.
So I don't know what features did it lose. The one thing I will say is that it changed the way it looked, and at first it didn't work as good as TweetDeck. That much I will give you. But so since then it doesn't. It works well. I don't really have trouble with it. What feature are you missing?
That would be when someone tweets, I have to manually go to their profile and scroll either up or down on my mouse to actually for it to update. I feel like TweetDeck doesn't update correctly. Even like on my home tab, if I were to switch to Benzinga Pro and go to another tab, sometimes I manually have to scroll up for it to catch up. Like it doesn't update latest or world time as detected.
Interesting. That I haven't noticed. I did notice though in the notifications column, there's an all verified and mentioned sub tab. That was new. I was wondering why my app showed different stuff. As soon as I clicked all, it looked fine. That's interesting. I'll let you know. I'll let you know if that comes up.
Well, I was going to say, while we're on the topic of Musk, Iger did say in an interview that anytime Elon Musk attacks him, he quotes, "ignore it."
Yeah, I mean, I would imagine guys of that stature probably do that. By the way, while we were talking here, 13, I bet you were probably ready to break the screen here because we just kept babbling. CADL, this traded up to a high of 277. Now it's come back in a little bit. I do see some size getting loaded in here, 268, 266. This thing could really run. Look at this volume down here. Look, we have expanded several times here today. I don't know that this is over yet.
No, and this had a good news PR, so there's definitely something material here. $3 is where I could see this getting up to. What happens after it hits that, I don't know. But yeah, that was moving. We got a lot of great comments in here while you guys were talking about social media. Gregory mentioning that ASML is a global leader in 2 to 3 nanometer chip fab lithography. That's true. The most advanced. That's true. White House administration wisely secured no China sale agreement collaboration. That's true. So, there's a lot of really good information that he's providing there about ASML and why they're so important.
Appreciate it. Appreciate it.
Look at COCH. That one's starting to come back. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm looking at a daily chart. Hold on. It's slowly moving back up to 620. That was the 620 is still a level that I think where it could reverse. That's COCH. There was another one I was looking at, ATAI. That one did move off the bottoming area I was talking about, the demand zone that was created from pre-market and after hours. Moving off that nicely, headed up to VWAP. What happens at VWAP? If it gets volume, it'll probably break through. If it doesn't get the volume it needs, it's coming back down, in my opinion. What else do we have? It looks like PLTR is also trying to get through VWAP. It's made 2 attempts to break through it, traded above it, and then came back in. Third time, it's either going to break through it or going to go back down to the 65 EMA. And chip. Sorry, go ahead.
EKS just mentioning Generac here. This trading out of its sideways area. This is actually not bad.
Oh,
135.
Generac.
Did that break above? Yeah, it sure did. Broke above this sideways area right here. We're actually into a gap. This gap don't fill till 147. This is a great mention here. EKS.
Yeah. The gap from 22. Oh no, I see the gap you're talking about. Okay, yeah, because there was a gap from 2022. I don't really think that matters since we filled it already, but
okay.
I just noticed that. Then I didn't see the one you were talking about from August of 23. That's the gap that we're in the process of trying to fill right now, right?
Yep. Okay. You got it.
There's the 500-day SMA is really close to 145. So be interested to see if we can continue to fill that gap once we hit there. The thing about Generac is that I don't know what the news is off this that's causing it to move, but I would imagine with the weather that's happening across the United States that they're seeing an uptick in sales or at least orders.
It's funny because I also don't see any fresh news here. OTR Global did upgrade this on Tuesday. It's one thing that I saw here. A couple of traders that I follow and have been following for a long time were mentioning how grateful they were that they had a generator this morning. I just think it's funny that we're kind of bringing that up here now. Just kind of interesting.
Oh, don't worry. I'm going to be a future customer of Generac because we get those deep freezes out here in Texas that absolutely raise hell with our electrical infrastructure.
Yeah, here we go. So Nathan Michaud, this is Investors Live, tweeting one of the best investments I ever made because only in New England is it 61 weekend and a blizzard today. Nate, that sounds like Chicago weather too, but that's awesome stuff. Those, you know what? One of my buddies has one of these. He says the exact same thing as Nate does. It is one of the best investments he ever made for his home. So there was someone else that was mentioning this here this morning, but really interesting. That's just kind of a small world there.
Before you go to Root, look at the daily chart of GNRC because we are moving up, but we're nowhere near where this price the price of this was before. So I don't know what's it's going to get us back up there. But there's a lot of upside. It seems like
let me take a look at something here real quick. I don't want to.
Was it a split or?
No, I feel like wasn't this? Yeah. So this was See, so post COVID. Right. Mm-hmm. So after the let me bring up Pro here real quick. We'll take a look at the daily chart here together. Okay. So after the COVID low, right in here, this March low when we sold off, Generac didn't really sell off all that violently. 78 was the low print. Look at what it did ever since then. And up right until late 2021, I guess people thought, well, we're never going to leave again. We got to get a generator installed. Kingdom Lamb saying it can save your life. Indeed. Yeah. So this thing went from $70 to $530. So we're back down here at $135. I'll be honest, I'm not even looking up in the $500 range or even the $300 range. What I'm interested in with Generac right here is, can we actually get up to this 157 and maybe break above that? We talked about the gap that we're trying to fill right here. This fills at what, 150? Looks like we're in that gap here too. Mm-hmm. GNRC.
That's why I was saying I like 200 to the upside, because that seems to be the after the 500-day SMA, that seems to be the big resistance level. It's 200. You can see that on a daily chart.
Oh, what? Looking here real quick. I just saw another up here. Oh man, look at Lulu coming back into that. Coming back into that 500-day moving average. Another person I follow here on Twitter, link a screenshot from a Jefferies analyst note. I don't know who this one was. I don't know offhand. It says, quote, case study shows Lulu could be the next UAA. That's Under Armour, of course. Price target 240. Yikes.
We are getting reports of Petrobras CEO is actually going to be stepping down within the next 2 days. That's according to Reuters government sources. So Pratt's is going to be stepping down and exiting the company in just about 2 days. It's likely coming in days, says two government sources. So sometime within this week.
Help me out with the ticker for Petrobras.
I don't believe they have a ticker, but let me double check here.
Good mention, Neville. Hurricane season or on the Generac play. That starts from
PBR
June to November.
PBR. I just got to remember Pabst Blue Ribbon.
That's not a bad. Not bad.
You guys like that one. Gary, good morning. Or good morning. Yes, good morning. I'm used to seeing you in the afternoon and happy hour. Gary, good morning. Saying, yeah, I have a Generac. It's a great investment. PBR, thanks, Jay. Got that one there. Pabst Blue Ribbon. Got to remember that. Got to remember that.
The Crow saying Kazoo Group. Okay,
so I see what he's talking about. Right?
Yeah. I see what he's talking about. If we just get some volume, it looks like it's going to get back up to 1435. It's really all the only thing that's left for it is just to have that volume to get us up there past 14.
Take care of yourself, Lynn. Great to see you this morning. Enjoy your vacation, Lynn and Randy.
Go have fun.
Yeah. Oh, they have fun when they have the market. I that much I know. They definitely have fun when they're trading. CADL looks like it's pulling back off that spot. Let's see if this sets up again here on CADL. Or some of those bigger stock. Yeah, Hubs. Let's take a look at that.
Hubs still slowly moving up. Went through VWAP and it's still going, looking pretty good. Oh, what else do we have here? I see that. If CADL can hold, let's say 240, I think that would be a good spot for it to hold. If it can hold 240, then I think it might be able to reverse, but that's a little for me.
EKS mentioning the broad rally, mentioning the advancing and the decliners here. The interesting thing is that the market really set the highs right at that opening print. It's really kind of come back in.
Yeah.
I was going to say Goldman actually upped their Q1 GDP to 2.5. That's on the heels of Atlanta Fed GDP now for Q1 actually coming down from 2.8. So it seems like 2.5 is currently what they're forecasting for Q1.
What are the Mag 7s doing today?
Apple at the highs, Tesla at the highs, Netflix just flagging.
Meta is the strongest one today. What's the news there? What is Meta moving up on? Meta looks like it wants to break out.
AVTX actually looking like maybe yesterday's intraday high. Let me take a look here at Meta.
Look at the daily on that. That's in, I mean, once again, you're floating islands.
Stay focused. Appreciate this answer here. You'd asked me about ASML. Personally, I prefer AMAT over ASML. Double the volume and a better price there.
This one's consolidating up here.
Actually, I don't even realize that it was this high. PBR dividend 19.11%. Wow. I didn't even realize that. I got to get back on the dividend horse again.
It's a fun horse to ride. The horse gives you carrots.
I mean, this. Okay, I'm sorry. I keep playing around. Oh man, I keep playing around with this AI song thing, and it is hilarious. Look for our social media accounts to start sending some of this stuff out. It's just too good to not do. So. Okay, I have to focus. Come on, Ryan, snap out of it. You got to focus.
Guys, I was going to say, watch Apple. We are getting reports that Apple suppliers say new iPads have been repeatedly postponed. That's according to Mac Rumors. They're saying that in defense of these rumors, it does sound like Apple has experienced delays with the new iPads. DigiTimes this week cited sources at Taiwanese suppliers who said mass production of camera lenses for the upcoming iPads has been, quote, repeatedly postponed. And the report vaguely mentions that a, quote, production launch will likely take place in May.
I don't know. Is the iPad still a big mover for Apple?
I would say iPhones and maybe Macs or maybe the watches. But I know there's been some controversy with the watches, so maybe the watches have backed off. I think iPhones are the biggest right now.
Yeah, iPhone's definitely the biggest, and it's, at least from my own personal view, I love the Mac computers.
I actually have one. I got one for Christmas.
Yeah, I just got a new MacBook Pro too, and it is awesome.
Tablets in general seem to be moving more into the commercial side of things and away from the consumer side. That's just kind of what I'm seeing. I see, because there's a lot more applications for commercial side, like point of sale systems, inventory tracking, things like that. The consumer, they're on their phones or they're on their Macs. I don't really see them having as many iPads as they used to, because the appeal among the public seems to be, moving away from tablets.
Yeah, I mean, for me, the tablet is a cool. I have one. I've got a Samsung tablet, of course, but I know the NFL uses the Surfaces. They won't even say the word Apple or iPad because they can't. I know that they use the Surfaces. I see ESPN. I see all of the hosts carrying around iPads. I don't know how much of a mover. Yeah, that's the commercial angle that you were discussing. I don't know how much of a mover that's actually going to be. I don't ever see laptops going away, and I certainly don't see smartphones going away.
CADL.
Kingdom Lamb here saying iPads really, or the iPad Pro anyway, really good for making art. That I would know nothing about. I've got no artistic talent at all.
Yeah, just looking to see if we can. This CADL is going to start to get going here. It started getting volume. Just putting that out there. Crow, is CZOO going to stop doing this fondling of the 14 handle? They're going to finally break through it, or what? Tell me, man.
Fairchild saying I would lose my mind trying to trade with a tablet. So I don't know if I could do that. What I like with tablets are how it can just kind of be a second screen anywhere, right? Like you can put Benzinga Pro on it, you can put charts on it, or whatever it is that you chat rooms, whatever else it is that you watch, and kind of just use it as a second screen. I agree. I would not try to trade from that. iPad revenue for Apple is 6%. Definitely on the lower end of the scale there. Appreciate you digging that out, Will.
VERI. That one's looking like it's going to want to come back up and take out 775.
Let's see if these highs get breached here. 775 is that high print. Let's see if there's anything else moving. Let's see what the Twitter streets are up to.
Yeah, it looks like VERI and that one I just mentioned, I'm sorry, no, that one. CADL. Looks like those two are looking like they're getting ready to go. Hubs had a bit of a pop and came back in. Don't know if this is going to get to 694 again or what, but it looks like it's making its way there. What else? Looks like a lot of things. Just
Crow, is this what you mentioned? Going long C4 daily reversal? Is this C4 Therapeutics, ticker CCCC? Jay mentioning the SMCI gave up all of its gains. Jay, we're seeing more of that here too. I mean, I know the SPY hasn't given up everything yet, but that looks, maybe not. My other chart looks like it's coming in a little bit more. Jake, looking at UNH here. This is interesting. We talked about this one recently. Mm-hmm. Jake here saying looks primed for a move to 500 range in the next 1 to 2 months. So this recently kind of fell out. This was the news on Medicare, right?
The Part D. Yeah.
Part D. Thank you. Why couldn't I remember that? That was for the recent move down. It hit Humana too. Jake, you're looking to completely clear this gap on this move back towards 500. The 200-day moving average here right at 508 on UNH. So I'll tell you what, I tried doing a Humana bounce play via butterfly. I actually still have that, right? Because I'm going to wait for those things to expire.
Yeah, I made a mention in the happy hour chat yesterday that I think that Humana, UNH, and there was another one that starts with a C. I'm trying to think of what
CVS.
It was. No, not CVS. It was C something C, like CLC or no, not that one.
CVC?
Is that what it was? No. I'd have to go and look for it, but I think all those are headed lower. They all don't. Their technicals do not look great. I know that some of them have really low RSI. So I'd anticipate a short-term bounce to correct that, but ultimately I still think these are going lower. They just, some of these just death crossed the beginning of the year. Humana did, so that one to me looks like it's going lower. UNH,
CNC, Jay giving this to you. Centrine.
That's it. Yeah.
Jay, let's go, dude.
Yeah, UNH, that just death crossed on March 18th, I believe, March 18th, 19th. That one to me is going lower. It also looks like it's really putting pressure on 450, which is a support level. So then let's CNC. There's another one. I think there were, one of these had a long-term time frame where it was looking pretty bad too. Maybe not CNC so much.
CNC bounced clean off that 200.
Yeah, CNC maybe not so much, but UNH and Humana, I don't think those recover soon. I think those are going lower, especially Humana. That one, if you look at a weekly chart on that one, it just it's we got some moving averages crossing each other like crazy. We're about to death cross in that one. I don't like the way these charts look. I think the healthcare and these types of companies in the healthcare sector don't do well this year. And to back that up with some fundamentals, the consumer is coming under pressure, and it's been because they've been depleting their savings and racking up debt due to inflation.
Yep.
They're going to start cutting costs elsewhere. I think paying for health insurance is one of the places they're going to start cutting first. And then they're going to start cutting out the pricier food items that they buy. They'll probably go from like eating steaks to eating ground beef, that kind of thing. So I think with the tightening consumer, that health insurance is going to see some downside, especially when job losses start happening. You don't have the group health insurance plans with as many active participants anymore. So you'll see as job losses increase, so will the people on health insurance.
I would agree with that wholeheartedly. PBR here, by the way, we did have some news here regarding a special dividend. That's what popped it to the highs here. GSIT getting mentioned here for liftoff. Jay was mentioning this earlier here. This traded up right out of the gate, pulled back. We're right back to those highs. The spot here, so we're above that, right? Yeah, the spot here that we really needed to break was that 545. Looks like we traded back under it, but reclaimed it here. This, and in fact, let me go over to Benzinga Pro. We'll show you this larger chart here. So it's a little bit easier to see on GSIT. Okay, so here you go. This is what we're looking at here on GSIT. This breakout looks pretty good here. There is a consolidation area here back from the middle of 2023, but this breakout over these recent highs here looking good. Ticker GSIT.
Hub still slowly grinding higher.
Jay saying my new hip was 110K. Let me ask you, Jay, do they have like a catalog or like a product selection? Like if I wanted a robot leg where I could like really boot a ball like 150 yards, could I do that, or is that technology not available yet? Asking for a friend.
Well, things really slowing down.
Yeah, they sure are.
A lot of sideways action in some of these things we were trading this morning. So just kind of looking around to see what I can find.
Unless we're all just waiting for the jobs report tomorrow, which comes out at 8:30.
Yes.
Yeah, we definitely are.
That will provide some kind of perspective on the labor market, how year-over-year earnings are, how hourly wages are. What is the workforce looking like? Who is coming back to the workforce? I don't know many people my age, 18 years old, that want to work nowadays, but I just have a different work ethic, I guess.
I wonder if the 4-day work week push is going to have any impact on people wanting to work or not. They want to maybe see that happen first, or see if there's anything legislatively happening.
Or the hybrid, 2 days in the office, 2 days at home, or 1 day in the office.
There you go.
I do know, Ryan, that at our own company, they have been pushing 5 days a week in the work area if you are within 1 hour of a commute. And so that is something that many companies are doing, especially scanning badges. There's a lot of people that want to come into the office, or they come in, but they don't want to scan their badge to say, hey, I'm at the office, or they're trying to get away. Companies are cracking down with being in the office either 5 days a week, 2 days a week, and then the hybrid model.
Yeah, I think for us personally, it's a minimum of 4 or something like that. I'll be honest though, I don't, this is not the end of this. All right. This is not the end of this. There are a bunch of people that really enjoy and actually are more productive working remotely. I'm one of them.
Mm-hmm.
I get more done when I get more done when I work in my home office, where I have all of these variables controlled, than when I go to an office. And when you talk about Benzinga, we have an open office. So sometimes if you need to make phone calls or you need peace and quiet, it can be just a little bit more challenging. Not that you can't do it, but it takes an extra step. None of that exists in some of these remote workplaces. And I think really what comes down to productivity for remote workers is going to be, are they driven on their own? The whole job here at Benzinga, this is not a job. This is a labor of love. I mean, I feel like I'm actually building something here. It's why I have such strong feelings for the community here and for our teammates like you guys. So for me, I don't need to be in an office or have someone looking over me in order to be motivated. I find ways to motivate myself. And because of that, I'm able to be more productive. I think companies that force some type of like ultimatum, I think in the end, that's going to end up hurting them. I really believe that. I think that you will not be able to attract some of the talent that you want to attract to your company if you have very, very rigid rules and don't allow for flexibility. Workers, I think, are looking for flexibility. To 13's point about the 4-day work week, they want that because they've got more time for themselves.
That's really what it comes down to, just having more time to get things done. Like, think about how much time people spend every day just making the commute to and from work.
Oh, yeah.
They're not getting paid from that.
That's the other thing. And this might be a character flaw for me, but traffic, I think more than anything else, makes me angry. And by eliminating 2 commutes a day, I am just a happier person with lower blood pressure.
Also, but here, what we can do is we actually can come on with a laptop, with a camera, where all these other people, where all these other news organizations, they put so much into work from home. A 60-inch screen TV, 2 lights, you need makeup. Here, none of that. We don't throw on the makeup. I'm not giving you a made up look of me. I'm just getting you out of. I'm just getting out of bed half the time in the morning at 9 a.m. No, I'm just.
You put on a tie, dude. That's good enough.
But I'm just saying here, what we can do is we don't have to have all of the technology like these major organizations do with 60-inch screen TVs, a teleprompter, all this material. We can actually do with a laptop, a camera, and a phone, and we're ready to go.
Look at SOUN, by the way, while we're having this discussion. SOUN popping to the highs on volume. This is actually clearing out an area that goes back to the pre-market highs from April 2nd. So this basically deleting all of yesterday and the day before, or in terms of its performance. This did come in. We got 497 here. The 50-day moving average here is about 478. So this did kind of come in towards its 50-day moving average. Let's see if the sound bounce continues here. I'm not sure if there was any news on that.
I'm not seeing news, but I think what's happening here is we're going to start seeing some of these, the silly names, the old girlfriends that we were trading earlier this year start to move because there's nothing really the market is doing right now, and they need something to do. So
look for some of these smaller names. By the way, CADL, this is holding up here. This is flagging up here still. Jacob Cooper mentioning ACB. This thing had no chill. This thing is going higher and higher. Pot name right there.
Smoking its own product.
Glenn saying there's no traffic on my stairways. Amen to that. Gary saying, other than Buddy, you don't have children at home, but I agree with you. Indeed. Buddy's actually asleep in his bed right now. It's really adorable. He's got his team of humans, animals, and bird to help. Look, that's just how I am, Smoke Tune. I'm a lover, not a fighter, and I love animals. And it's like, if you put me in the right mood, I'm going to be as productive as possible.
We got Ryan Doolittle over here.
Ryan Doolittle?
You never heard of Dr. Doolittle?
No, I have. I'm surprised that I heard a Doolittle drop here this morning, I suppose.
Oh, I guess I'm showing my age then.
Beach Bum saying 100% Ryan, but the old guard needs to see people sitting in a cube, whether they produce any results or not. That to me is that is an old mentality. And I consider myself part of the old guard in some cases too. I very much enjoy symbols of the old ways. But when it comes to work and being productive and working towards a goal that requires a team, I think you gotta listen to the team. I think you gotta listen to the team in that.
I got a question. Kingdom Lamb, where do I think ACB will end at today? I'll just answer this one really quickly here because this has been an absolute blast off stock today and really this week, really. What I'd want to see is to see if the price can hold somewhere between $7.50 and $6. I see some consolidation when I look to the left there. That looks like a good area where it could get kind of caught up in the trading between the bears and the bulls. That's what I'd want to see, somewhere between 6 and 750. Man, Hollow looking for 4.
Yeah, see, Gladys, this is exactly how I feel. I'm glad that you mentioned that. Totally concur, Ryan. Many companies, organizations benefit immensely as many people put in much more time while working remotely due to the home setup and climate. Let me tell you something. Cutting out the commute leaves more time for work. Yeah. Not more time. Like when I get up in the morning, I come to my senses. I have a cup of coffee, shower and get ready. I immediately start working. Like when you guys see me here, I have, I've been working at that point for probably an hour, 45 minutes, an hour. I get right into it. And the other thing is that if one of my teammates calls me at 7, 8 o'clock at night and say, Ryan, I need some help with this, or can you take a look at this, or can I do this or that? If I'm at home, like hours almost don't even apply. If you need help at 8 o'clock, call me at 8 o'clock. Now don't call me at 3 a.m. I'm trying to get my sleep. But if you call me at 8 p.m. and I'm at home, I'm happy to help. Like that just comes down to like the drive. To me, like hours don't necessarily mean anything. It's more so when you're working from home. Okay, enough for me ranting.
Yeah, Smoke Tuna mentioning VVPR setting up. I think this one we traded yesterday or the day before.
Yeah, we've traded this a few times.
I was thinking about something you were saying about work from home. I bet you see a lot less time off too when people work from home.
Yeah,
I bet you see a lot less of it.
So my time off, I take because I have to physically go somewhere for some reason. Like I don't just take a time off just because I need a break. So to that point, 13, I think you're onto something there. Tesla, holy smokes, this ripping to the upside did not reverse there at that 172. This continuing to move higher here. COCH getting mentioned here.
Still kind of low volume on COCH, but it's starting to increase. That's why we got that move up.
AVTX here. The thing that we're waiting for on AVTX, this actually looks like it's curling, right? This traded up here, kind of came back in right, from this island formation. Looks like it's trying to curl here. Big level here for me on AVTX. You can see I've got a downside level here at 1629. That upside level here, I'm going to have this at 1939, 1937. The top of this candle here. What do I have? That 1930. Beg your pardon.
That's a good question from King of Lamb, because I had heard about this, potentially happening. Have you heard about that? Going
no,
from
what is
pattern day trading rule becoming 1 day rather than 2. So the reconciliation, usually it takes like 2 days from the time that you've traded to I think he's referring to I'm trying to think of the word. But when after you've traded and you've moved money around, it takes a couple of days. The settlement, yes, that's what it is. So it's instead of being 2 days out, it's moving it down to 1 day. It's fine with me.
I thought pattern day trading. I thought the pattern day trading rule was that if you close day trades, 3 or more day trades in a rolling 5-day period, they lock you out for 90 days. So what is the?
I thought that was if you don't have the minimum.
If you're under the 25K threshold, what is the? How does this apply? I don't understand. Maybe I'm just being dense and I'm missing something.
Well, so I'll have. It seems like chat has a better way of explaining it, but the pattern, the settlement period was 2 days, so. In certain accounts, your funds weren't available until that settlement happened. I'm probably not explaining.
So the settlement period is going down from 2 days to 1 day. That's what you're saying, right? Okay, so that's great. So I think Webcoin's hitting it right here. It's great if you're on a cash account. If you're on margin, who cares? There is no settlement. Who cares?
Right.
I guess this depends on your account here.
I really think that's what it comes down to.
Voodoo, I think you're right. Here we go. I think Voodoo's hitting. I don't think this affects PDT, guys. It works in your favor. I think Voodoo's hitting it right on the head. I think this works in your favor. They are reducing the settlement time, right? So if you're on a cash account, your funds are going to settle quicker. You won't have to wait as much. I don't think this has anything to do with PDT. And I think if your account is on margin, the settlement doesn't matter.
Well, pattern day trading is just kind of like a label that you get for depending on how you trade. So if you're not doing that pattern, that day trading pattern where you buy and sell the same day, then you're not going to get flagged with that label on your cash account or whatever. Is going to be just fine.
So you're saying that? Oh, I see.
But if you do day trade, then you're flagged as PDT.
Okay, interesting. Sorry if that got a little sloppy there. We're just trying to have a discussion in real time there.
Yeah, I don't think we have all the information.
I'll look into that though. I'll look into that. That's something to know.
Yeah.
And remember, if you want to avoid all of that stuff, check out Trade the Pool, because if you trade in prop firm, you don't have to worry about any of that stuff.
There's the segue. ALUR retook VWAP. What else?
Yeah, Webcoin, we're going up till noon, actually 5 minutes prior to that. We're going to send it over then to Powerball at noon. We didn't have anything, so 13 said his schedule was open. My schedule was open, so we decided to hang around with you folks here and keep taking a look at things. It did, Smoke Tuna mentioned this earlier, it did kind of slow down. We had a pretty busy first hour and a half here. It really has kind of slowed down a little bit here.
Starting to go over out to lunch, but it looks like IREN from earlier today that was mentioned by Carmen, that had a nice bounce and it's back up to VWAP. That one could be one to keep an eye on, because look at the MACD. That one's curling. It's rising up. It's over VWAP. The only thing I'm concerned about is, oh, maybe not. Never mind. I was looking at something else. Yeah, this one looks like it could get going again here.
SMR coming back up to the VWAP. Let's see if that crosses and moves here on SMR. Bitcoin topped out there at 68,500 on the futures, but it's still holding up there. Mara actually went lower here. Mara's red on the day. Oh my God, the Powerball jackpot is 1.23 billion. Well,
Yeah.
how about that? It's time. Guess what? 13 time for me to go get a ticket or two.
Now you know why I even brought that up, because I saw that it was just under that prior to Monday's drawing, and so apparently we don't have any winners on Monday, and that means that people that are buying tickets now are pushing it over $1 billion. So hey, it's time to get tickets.
INOD popping on volume here. I have no position in this. I have before, but I have nothing now. Is there news? Checking to see if there's news. I don't see anything. Just popping on volume here. INOD.
I'm so irritated at myself that I didn't pick that up when it dipped under 6. No, I'm not sure if I made the right decision to wait for it to go lower. We'll see. If it doesn't clear the 50-day SMA, then I might have some more hope. But it got over the 500, and that's pretty big. Can't win them all.
Boeing, I don't think that this is along yet. The news flow is so bad. I mean, maybe if you want to try it for a technical move off a support area, we're kind of in no man's land right here. I don't feel great about Boeing.
I still like 165 on Boeing.
Yeah, there you go. That's 21 points lower from where we're at, by the way. ALAB getting mentioned by Crow here. This was a monster. This has actually come in. Let's see if this sets up for another move higher here. ALAB.
Hey, Easy Mike. How you doing?
Easy Mike. The dude. Yo.
ATAI looks like it wants to retake VWAP, but the volume's not great. It does have a pretty decent looking MACD that's curling though. The slow mover of the day that's been doing pretty well after it had the pop and drop is still Hubs. Wow, Iron looking like it wants to take on 635 again. Looks like Carol's coming in for a landing. HWH, this is one of the ones that was on our watch list. It pretty much has done a whole lot of nothing, but it's starting to recapture some of the moving averages and VWAP.
HWH.
That it was underneath. Did I say something else?
No, I heard you while I was reading something else and then typed in HGH like an idiot.
Right now, HWH is still trying to make its way through the pre-market consolidation, and it also has a 65 EMA on the 5-minute at 243 that it needs to get through. But it's making its way up there, so we'll see what happens if it can get through that.
Jay, you're right. 2 days spot moved 30 points off that 270 level. This is a huge move.
They had that big news, right?
Was that about the price of the subscription going higher?
Yeah. More revenue.
And they also appointed the new CFO. That's right.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. What are we seeing here? Because, man, things are just kind of boring. Really would like to know what's going on with INOD, though.
Yeah, I didn't see any news for that. That's holding here at that 735 area. And I'm looking around. I don't see a lot on the Twitter streets either.
Allure will test the top soon, or he thinks it will. Probably. Let's bring that up here. I had this on my list. Where is it? There it is. I mean, I'm looking at it now. It's looking pretty toppy at the moment and going lower.
This breaking through the VWAP as we speak.
Mm-hmm.
Smoke Tuna saying it's been boring for a few weeks, but you know what? You folks have been bringing the entertainment here.
Yeah. Looks like ACB is coming back in a little bit. I don't know that it breaks down, but it's putting in a few candles with some nice wicks on the bottom there. I'd like to see it recapture 850.
Jay Rice saying, don't forget earnings season starts next week with the banks, Citigroup, JPM, Wells Fargo, Goldman Sachs, etc. They're coming in hot to the prince. One of the things that we have been talking about is that this down move or this boring time that Smoke Tuna was just mentioning, we've been in a news pocket.
Yep.
Right. There hasn't been much of anything. The market, a lot of these days, the market has either waited for whatever Fed talk was scheduled that day or whatever data print was coming out that day. And sometimes the market seemed like it would wait multiple days for that news print. Now we'll see what happens when earnings season kicks up with those banks. You got any you like, Jay? JPM, I'm pretty sure.
Looks like VVPR, that one we were talking about earlier, still trying to get back up to like 685. I don't know about this one. ACB, this might be the moment we go higher here or start to.
Look at Tesla. Look at the move today on Tesla. Boy, that 168 bottom, big move here. 5-point move.
It needs to close over the 20-day SMA to remain bullish.
GSIT, similar type of move. Not quite as big, but similar formation there. It's like we got Nick back. How's everything going?
I don't know. Apparently there was an outage, and all of a sudden I heard you say something, and everything went black. And now we're back. It was weird. Like, my computer just said, "Sorry, not connecting," and I was in the middle of saying I was going to respond to your comment, and I couldn't.
Oh well, sorry about that. Good to see you back here. Someone might have just kicked the power cord out of the outlet or something like that.
Invest in Muscle's alerting Meta to us right now. If you look at the daily chart, this thing's trying to get above the all-time highs, making new all-time highs.
Didn't you say earlier this thing looked like it was breaking out?
Yeah, I also was saying that it was the one that's up the most today out of the Mag 7.
Yeah. POWW. I know this is one we've talked about quite a bit here, 13. POWW, this is I guess this is a longer term swing. I bought this last year. This is my play on the summer prior to the election. I think this election is going to be heated. I think there's going to be a lot of crazy stuff that happens. I think a company like POWW is going to benefit from that. I've been long this. I'm up on this. My average 235. I've been actually selling this as it goes up and down. Nice. But nice to see this strong here.
Nice to hear that this one is working out great. Because I like this one too.
Yeah.
And they're still growing. And they own gunbroker.com.
Yeah.
I think that's the big play.
Yeah, I think that is too. How's CADL doing? That was one of our. Okay, this came back to the VWAP again. Then another test here at the VWAP. We'll see if we get a bounce in a trade here. ABIO on the scanner.
I'm still waiting for ATAI to get over or get back to VWAP or over it. Just, very little volume. And ATAI, it's MACD is curling. So I hate to use the word hope, but everything is setting up to look like it's going to make that move. So that's what I'm counting on right now. Looks like CADL, as you were just mentioning.
Jay, good call on Meta. Jay saying Meta is going to be a big election winner. Ad spending going to be high. Yeah,
that's about that too.
That is true. That is a really good mention.
Yeah, good point. I brought up VVOS on my chart for some reason. Did somebody mention that in the chat earlier? I think that's why it's on here, because it's.
Yeah, I think we did.
It had a nice big move about 5 minutes ago.
AVTX finally got above those yesterday's intraday highs. A number of people have been watching AVTX here. Crow, I know you're mentioning this now, but there are others that were watching this one earlier. Just continuing to move here above yesterday's intraday highs.
Soundhound still going higher. 575 is the next level I have for Soundhound. That's probably going to be a good maybe profit taking or shaving level. Up to you guys. Yeah, CADL looks like it wants to push up higher. This needs to see that volume expand a little bit more.
Tesla still at the highs. Man, Tesla, that is just what a move on Tesla here today. Good volume too across the board.
On what? Is this just a reversal from from selling, or is there something?
I mean, Tesla trades like it's got a cult following. I've said that a number of times here. Yeah, it is. I guess maybe kind of coming off that double bottom a little bit here. 161. I don't see any new. Let's see. Did I miss something here?
Well, it says that they're producing right-hand drive cars in Germany.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I guess that fire at the Gigafactory wasn't as bad as everybody thought. I don't know. I mean, if they're talking about producing vehicles out of the very factory that the downside was being based upon, then that could most likely reverse it. I'd say that that's probably one of the big reasons.
Looks like that problem is transitory, huh?
That was
giving myself some shivers there. CADL, this says actually continued to curl up off that VWAP. CADL. Amazon near the highs. So we remember Amazon ran out of the gate here, pulled back. It looks like it's going to try and take those out here on Amazon.
COCH still making its way to 620. Still think that that's going to be a big resistance level for it. ATAI might still go. I really think it could. It's just, it's all about the volume right now at this point, because there's a huge wall at 275. Now, I know that's on the other side of VWAP, or at least my VWAP. So I'd be, anticipating a move to at least there. But I don't know that it's going to get over it. There's still a good amount of sell orders to chew through up until that point anyway. So the volume really does need to expand. And we might get that if the algos pick up on some of these indicators that I'm seeing and start trading this up. I think CADL is trying to push as well. 270 is 260 and 270 are the next big areas of selling I can see on that one. It's got a large bid coming at 254. Iron looks like it's going to test VWAP support and possibly make another move up.
Jay, nice mention here. Pot stocks, remember, if they have weeklies, those come off tomorrow. Less pressure to hedge. Okay. Interesting. How did those finish up here, by the way? So that went green, came back red, went green again. Did we go red again? Yeah, we sure did. Oh, we're right there. This is holding on to it.
Yeah, I think Smoke Tuna might be right here about VVPR. Again, volume is what it needs, but it does look like it's trying to push up to that intraday high of what was this, about 695?
Yeah, I think I've got it right there. Actually, it's 695. Yep.
Okay, here goes Soundhound. 575 is the next target. That was a nice
sound. This was a nice rip. You're right. Was that what you were about to say? Holy smokes.
Yeah. Certainly was. This is, I'll trade this, but it's hard to when it's already just absolutely ripping like this. You don't. We probably had an opportunity, when we had that pullback, but we weren't looking at it then. So
nope,
missed it. Who mentioned VRT earlier? That one looks like it's still trying to get back up to VWAP.
Yeah. Oh gosh, this is gonna. I'm so embarrassed now. It was the Twitter guy. I can't remember his name. This was from
CADL.
the data center research. Let me see if I can find it.
CADL is pushing. We're coming up to 270. That's where the big sell orders are that it needs to get chew through.
I think it was Gregory that mentioned VTR earlier.
Yeah, nice moves here in CADL. Don't know how much more we're going to get, but it looks like it does want to take out that 277.
Marlon here mentioning, Ryan, I prefer if companies leasing offices minimize square footage to save money, which could then be used for yearly bonuses. So this is going back to our discussion about remote work, where you're saying the company should, instead of dropping as much money on an actual physical space, turn that into bonuses for the employees. Love that idea. Meeting at the office once a week for team projects is ideal. I'd agree with that too. I'll say, at least in my position, I travel to the office so many times per year that like I feel like I go often. I know I don't compared to some of my teammates who are obviously there every day, but I like going. It gives me a different dynamic. I get to collaborate with people in person. Definitely great. I know I'm a very huge proponent of remote work, but I still like going to the office. I still like doing that.
Tell me what you think about this. We do have a lot of companies that have office space that they're using for their company, but it's not being utilized as much because of the work from home. So what are they going to do in order to offset that limited use that they're having with the office? You think we're going to see some subleasing from these companies that have office space to make up for the cost of the whatever loans they have to or rents they have to have the office space that they
I would imagine they would probably look into any way to kind of offset some of those costs. Yeah. I don't know about subleasing, but maybe.
Well, I think the subleasing there's a big amount of inflow that can come from that to offset.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right about that. All right, folks, we've got just about a couple of minutes here. Remember, we are going to send you over to Powerball. You folks don't need to do anything. The redirect is already set. We're just going to send you over there when we're done here. Just get the thank yous out of the way now, so I'm not pressed for time. Nick, thanks for joining us again. Love to have you back tomorrow as long as your schedule allows.
Oh, we're free tomorrow. Tomorrow's a big day. Jobs report, got a lot to discuss.
Yes,
exactly. I love how ready for this you already are. I got to be honest with you. That is awesome.
I'll be digging through the jobs report and bringing the highlights to live trading.
Let's go.
EJH.
Nick.
EJH is looking pretty good. ATAI is setting up its move, or not setting up, but it's starting to move through VWAP. This is one that I was mentioning earlier that it could get going here. Probably wants to take out 285. Sorry, I'm just starting to cycle through these again, and I'm starting
all
to see
good.
They're setting up here. We've got ACB that just tested VWAP. Not sure if it's going to bounce there or not, but it's just done that. SoundHound has got up to 567. It's almost to 575. Look for some pullback happening here soon in Sound. I saw another one, VRT. We were talking about this earlier.
Yeah, that's the data center player.
Looks like it wants to recover and go back up to VWAP. It's starting to make its way up again.
God, INOD, dude. INOD again on volume. Are we sure nothing's going on here?
It's... Remember how we talked about how this is a highly manipulated stock?
Yeah.
Okay. So it's probably being manipulated.
Yeah. Right, so I could see that. I could see that too. Tesla continuing its ramp, by the way. Bitcoin holding its highs. And how are those pot names?
Glenn, finally you guys are here long enough for my targets to hit.
Glenn, is this what you've been waiting for? Boom, got a register ring now that your target got hit. Great job, Glenn.
It's funny because I felt the same way about some things that we've been talking about, like, oh, these look like they're going to set up, and then we have to end the show. And then sure enough, like 5-10 minutes later, the things that we were talking about that were setting up are just ripping. Oh, man, I feel that.
We hit Glenn's targets, so the pattern is full. We can return to base.
Take that.
RTB.
Take that. Okay, folks, we are out of here. Great stuff. Thank you, everyone. We were able to extend the show by an hour today. Super exciting. Love that you guys suggested that love that you were available for that. All of you. Folks, have a great one. We're going to be back at this again tomorrow. Stick around. We're going to send you over to Powerball right now with my main man, Luke. Have a good one, folks. We will see you tomorrow.